everybody. Welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Friday, everybody. Friday, June 16th, 2023. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, as always, Brian Kruse. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. It's going to be a great day because, of course, it's Friday, end of the week. And as always on Kruse Control, when it's Friday, we got ourselves a few drinks happening right here because you kind of have to, right? We got to celebrate. It's the weekend, right? And joining me back, as always, is the lovely actor, writer, producer, Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. How you doing tonight?
Hi, wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday. How was your week?
Happy Friday. My week was oddly busy considering the state of Hollywood. I'm not really sure why, but I love that because it makes the days go faster, and it kind of helps things move along. When it's slow, it's like every second takes so long to go by. So it was a busy yet good week, and there was light traffic on 3 of the 5 days, so I'm very grateful for that.
I mean,
hi GR, hi BSB.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah, it's great when it's like that because it doesn't happen all that time. Usually you're in LA and it's like just a shit show. But happy that it didn't work out. Well, I was happy that was better for you today. Anyways, also coming back here on Kruse Control, as always, we gotta bring in Rachel Blakely. Rachel, welcome back to the program. Rachel, how you doing tonight? How's your week?
Rachel.
I'm doing great. I'm gaying it up. I did the gay Disney event earlier this week, so keeping the theme. Happy Pride, everyone.
Woo!
I like that pork behind you. I like that.
Pride pork.
Hey, Ty in the chat. Welcome back to Kruse Control.
Hi, Ty.
Happy Friday, though. I'm so happy to have you both here tonight. We have lots we're going to dive into, as always. And if it's your first time on Kruse Control, everybody, as GR said in the chat, drink up because, again, we're drinking on Friday, a little Jack and Coke right here. What does everybody have tonight? Rachel, what do you got?
I got a giant tumbler of gin and tonic.
Nice.
Wow,
nice.
That is so classic, classy, and amazing. I love it.
How about you, Sabrina?
I'm drinking sake and Modelo.
It's not Ryan Reynolds gin though, so I'm sorry, Sabrina.
Oh, damn it. Is it Hendrix?
It's Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, I mean, that's my third favorite. That's my third favorite. It's obviously Ryan Reynolds, then Hendrix, and then Bombay Sapphire. So,
that is some breaking news. Just like now, it's time for some breaking news. Oh, wrong button. We're not to our featured story yet, everybody. That was a little slip up. But the very first thing I want to dive right into is Manifest. So if you've been watching this NBC show, well, now Netflix show, well, now it's all done. Finally, this is a program. We talk about this all the time. A lot of times these shows do not get proper endings. They get canceled. And you're left being like, well, what happens to this? What happens to that? Well, Manifest actually got its ending, and Netflix just aired the last 10 episodes. Of course, you can binge your way through all that. But, this started September 24th, 2018 on NBC. They did a couple seasons, and then it was this big thing. And people were like, well, what happens? What happens to the lifeboat? What happens? And Sabrina and I have been watching this, so I just wanted to address it because we watched the ending. And the death date came, everybody, if you watch this. It came and went. And, for me, I'm like, at least 828, this whole passenger thing. I don't know if you watch this, Rachel, but at least they got their happy ending in a lot of ways. And, we're doing some spoilers fast, but if you watch this, they actually go, it's a whole testament pretty much, Rachel. It's like these people are angels. I'm gonna say they're angels pretty much. It's like God testing humanity. And if you succeed, you don't burn up and go to hell. And if you do, if you live, you get to go back in time and relive your life. But to me, it worked. I think it worked. The final worked. I thought they did a good job with it. I think that it made sense where it was going. And it was fun. I mean, I'm happy they got their ending.
Back in time and living your life again, do you also have to redo the events of this whole trial situation?
Well, they lost 5 years. Okay, I'll drink. We lost 5 years. They lost 5 years. So if you haven't seen it, so they're on the plane, and all of a sudden, when they get off the plane, it's 5 years later, and they're in the future, and they're like, "What's happening?" Yeah, and everyone's like, "You've been gone for 5 years. Your plane crashed. You were dead." And then everyone's like, "Well, how'd they come back to life?" And so you've been wondering how they came back to life. And now when it ends, they actually go back and they continue their lives forward. So.
The plane didn't crash. The plane disappeared. So it wasn't like you're dead.
No, they found the plane.
Like
they found the plane, though.
But not before they found them.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They found them first. Yeah, but the people came first before the plane. Like the plane landed and they just got off the plane and expected it to be normal, but it really for them it wasn't 5 years. Like they got on the plane, when they got off the plane, they were like, what is happening? Why is no one here to pick up? Like, what's going on? And like the most contrasting example was like there was a set of twins, Olive and Cal, and she was like a teenager and he was, 8. Like it was weird because like I mean and they were twins. So like and then obviously like the father was on the one plane, the mom was on the other plane with Olive, and so like she had a boyfriend, someone else had a new fiance, and like your whole life is, I mean, everyone just assumed that you were gone, and so your whole life changed, and then they had this
And here's our cast.
5.5 year period like to, I guess, set things right. It was kind of religious, I want to say, or like faith based.
Definitely religious.
Jesus based, I guess, like, Testament, like Bible based. I wish I should know more about the Bible. I went to Catholic school when I was younger, but
I feel like the guy who created this saw one Bible verse and he took that whole Bible verse and just made this whole show off it. And it really was just testing humanity to see like if you can actually like do good. If you can do good and live a good life, it's like testing a random group of people to see if humanity actually deserves to live or they should be all wiped off the face of the earth. So the apocalypse almost happens, but they saved the world.
The last
save the world.
The last episode was the best episode of this new extended season that they did. I think it was 20 episodes that you probably could have whittled down to 7. Like it was,
easily.
There were so many episodes where I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are we like, really? Like,
so
it was
they made
so
it like
frustrating.
Like an old school full season where it could have been like a mini series.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about doing a movie before to finalize it. They were talking about doing like a mini series, and
because they got canceled. They got canceled,
yeah.
And then everyone that was watching it on Netflix was like petitioned basically, and it was like #1 for so long. And they were like, "We need to come back," and they let them come back for 20 episodes. They could have easily made it 7 episodes. The good news is most of those people will never work again. So congratulations to them that they got all of those paychecks.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Whoa, the shade.
They got 20 episodes worth of paychecks for acting, and that's going to be the highlight of their career. So
Sabrina's taking that lifeboat. That's what she's doing. They call it the lifeboat the whole time too. Rachel, like our lifeboat.
There were so many, and let's co-captain, and there were so many things that like didn't need to become a thing that became a thing, and it became more and more dramatic as it went on. Like where it was a believable show, it like moved into soap opera territory really quickly. Like where I was like, "Are we serious?" And the fake crying, because I had to know what happened after I watched it all that time, and it was good. When it got canceled, I was like, "Oh my god, I want to know what happened."
I know.
But then when it came back, I'm like, "I don't really want to know what happened anymore. This is terrible." But the last episode
it was just too many episodes. It was just too many episodes. They didn't need that much. It was just too much. I think
they hired to be older, Cal. My God, do we need to center a season around that guy? It was really abysmal. It was not great.
The kid, he was like a kid, and then he aged up to a teenager. And
but the kid was a great actor, and the adult was like, it was offensive at times. I was like, I can't look at this guy's face for one more second. And do we have to have an extreme close up on his eye? I'm like, it was all bad choices all around.
I think I'm gonna pass, and I'm just gonna keep watching the new season of Black Mirror.
Yeah, you should.
I can't wait. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. That's the plan. You know what though, Rachel? You know what also is offensive? He should pass on Velma, but Velma's coming back anyways. It's coming back for her second season.
For that? Nobody liked it.
Literally no one.
Not a lot of people asked for it, but you know what? Mindy's show is coming back, the adult animated series for second season at Max. That's right.
I didn't even
Suzanne
see
Marco's
comment. Hold on, really quickly. GR agrees that Cal sucked as an adult. Thank you, GR. I'm sorry, I needed that validation. Back to Velma.
But it was not great. I mean, maybe it wasn't his fault. The writing wasn't the best for the end, but there was some great stuff still, but it was what it was. But Velma, though, I don't know how this got another season. I really don't. But during a panel at the International Animated Film Festival on Thursday, they announced it's coming back. Of course, this is the origin story of Velma, Scooby-Doo, but not quite Scooby-Doo. More adult version, they were saying. But for me, I'm like, I watched it. Sabrina watched it. I don't know if you watched it. You watched a little bit of it, right, Rachel? Like,
I wasn't interested in it from the beginning, and then it got such bad feedback that I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust everyone and just not even waste my time.
Well, it's like, it's not even Scooby-Doo. You know what I mean? It's been whatever it was. You know, it could have been a whole new character like we talk about in the show all the time, you know?
Before it dropped, they kind of hooked me a little bit because they said Velma was going to be lesbian. So I'm like, I'm here for lesbians. Velma has always had big lesbian energy. Lesbian icon. But
big lesbian energy, I love it.
The way they executed it all was bad. It was bad.
She has big annoying energy is what she has. Like, I can't.
That's just Mindy Kaling.
What is true. And when Brian said that was her, I was like, oh, it makes perfect sense because I didn't know it was her. And then when Brian said that, I was like, oh, it makes perfect sense. No wonder why I hate this bitch. But it's not only that I don't like her, I don't like the show. Like it's like supposed to be like a fun like different twist on like who's cool, who's not with the school situation. Like no one cares. No one asked for it. No one wants it. Please
and the
stop.
concept could have been well executed. It just wasn't.
Could have been great. Could have been great.
They
and by the way, what's this bitch in the middle's name? The one that's supposed to be hot, Daphne. Yeah, Daphne looks just like Poison Ivy in the in
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, in Harley Quinn. Thank you. Looks just like Poison Ivy, which also annoys me because I watch Harley Quinn and I actually like that show.
That show is amazing.
I think
that show needs
it's a
5
great
more
show.
seasons.
That show is just coming back soon. They're actually like tweaking the name too, apparently. I think it's just Harley Quinn now. They just changed something about it, but that's coming back too. But then again, Max saw Harley Quinn working well. They thought this would work as adult theme. It's the same kind of animation style.
I mean, it's working enough. Obviously, it got a second season. I just don't know who the people are that are watching it and enjoying it.
It probably had a 2-season contract from the beginning. Mindy probably locked that shit down right away.
Maybe,
but they announced it was coming now, so I don't know. I'm not really excited about it. I didn't even finish the first season. I tried, but even like there's no Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. It's not like Shaggy at all. And I mean, I get it, you're changing stuff, but I mean, there's a formula. We talk about this all the time. It's like just use what works, and make them adult. Then they were already kind of adult in a way. Just have fun with that. You could have focused around Velma, been fine with it, and just had the characters still be the characters. But Fred's like this little whiny little bitch the whole time. I was watching
Fred's always been kind of whiny little bitch, but
I mean,
no,
massively
but he used to be
in
at
this.
least like a jock and cool and like I'm the guy, and now it's like, I mean, I don't know. The dynamic is so shifted that it's fucking weird. It's so weird.
But Velma is coming back though, so somebody must want this. I don't know. Somebody out there, if you're in the comments watching, let us know because somebody liked it. They had to have.
Not JR.
I don't know if they liked it as much as Pedro Pascal like Paddington Bear, because he might be in the new Paddington Bear 3. But if you watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, he loves himself some Paddington too. So it only makes sense. It only makes sense if he comes on and does be the lead villain apparently in Paddington 3. But he's up for it. They've offered him a contract. He hasn't come back to say if he's doing it or not. There's only one little catch in this, is that right now he's shooting Gladiator, which we talked about last week.
Right now.
He's so hot right now. He's working everywhere. So he's working on Gladiator right now. And on top of this, starts shooting in a month, something like that. So it's like BSP, Velma sucks. But if it happens, I don't know if he can work with this schedule. So they might offer him the contract with this schedule. I mean, it might not work out. They can actually do it anyways. But it would be a fun thing for fans that watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Of course, it's about Nick Cage. And then, of course, Pedro plays this mega massive fan who pays $1 million to come to his birthday party. But it's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. It's fun. But they joke about Paddington Bear. So when I saw this, I laughed my ass off that they want him to play the villain in Paddington Bear too. But, I don't know if it's going to happen. It might not. But what do you think, Sabrina? Do you want to see him be in a Paddington Bear 3?
I mean, I didn't watch any Paddingtons, which I feel bad about because I used to like them when I was a child. However, when they say the villain in Paddington, is he going to be himself or is he going to be a fake thing, like a voice? Is it how does that work?
They have not said. There's no details.
World?
Oh, I think he would be himself. I think Paddington's with the real world.
Paddington's live action, except for Paddington himself.
Live action is very unspecific because they call The Lion King live action, and they're just lions.
I think the humans are actual.
So only So Paddington in Paddington 1 and 2, there was a human enemy. Who is a human enemy to a poor little bear?
I didn't watch it. I don't have children, so I didn't watch it.
I just think it's a fun inside thing if he comes and does this. And I hope if he does do this, they get Nick Cage to be in it too, because that would be epic.
I would prefer him to be a voice. I don't want to see people I like be bad, even though I've proven myself wrong when Cate Blanchett was the sister in Thor Ragnarok and killed the shit out of it, and I
she was fantastic.
Loved her.
There's nothing Cate Blanchett cannot do.
100%. She's my favorite actress on the planet. She literally can do anything. I just don't want to see people I like be bad. It's it makes me sad. But I guess when you do a good job.
1984, Wonder Woman, he was bad.
Yeah, and I hated him in that. First of all, he looked ridiculous. That movie sucked, and I didn't enjoy it. So that's not a good example.
Rachel, you on the
Give me
opposite
an
spectrum
example
here.
that
Do you
I
want to
like.
see? Do you want to see him be a villain in Paddington? You want to fight a bear? What do you think?
I think he could do it. I think Pedro Pascal
Fight
is
a bear?
incredibly talented, and he could be very good at anything he wants to do. I think it would be
Absolutely.
weird to see him in a villain role. But
Correct.
you know what? People have pulled off villain roles that we haven't expected to be able
Oh
to
my
do
God, that is
either.
Paddington. He looks like Rocket.
So
That's
He has a
Paddington.
real Rocket vibe, Paddington. I might get behind this movie now.
Yeah, he
Rocket Raccoon Paddington crossover.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Is
wholesome
Groot on
Rocket, though.
I bet you if he
It's
picks
like-
up that hat, Groot's gonna come out.
Well, he might have something else underneath that hat. You never know. It's what a little creature.
Pedro Pascal has made a huge resurgence online, like on TikTok. People started making like thirst videos about him, which I thought was
That's
That's
really
wild.
been
funny.
going on forever. Isn't
So-
there some
I don't
like
even get that.
daddy? Isn't there some daddy thing that's been going on with him?
There,
Daddy Pascal.
good old Daddy Pascal.
No, but there is like
People are
there's a-
thirsting. People are thirsting over Pascal. So you know what? Lean into it. Get as many jobs as you possibly can.
Hold
'cause
on.
The internet is fickle.
Really quick, there is everyone should Google this. I wish I had a link to give you. And after the show, I will put it in on the YouTube page. Pedro Pascal did a ad for Happy Socks where he dances around in his underwear for a solid minute and a half.
Happy
So-
Socks?
Anyone who is thirsty for some Pedro Pascal, check out his Happy Socks ad campaign. I believe it was from 2019. A light Google will find it, no problem. You won't. You
Thirsty,
will not
she
be
says.
sad about it. You will not be
Thirsty.
sad about it.
She knows
And Lexi-
exactly how long that video
I know-
is too.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because my boss's daughter
That's
showed
what I
me
said. Let's see.
it's all of the Pedro Daddy thing. Like I was. That's why I was like, well, I bet you. I wish I could text her right now. I'd be like, what was the thing? Because she was like, and I was like, what? He is like oddly like. I just don't see people being like, oh my God, he's so hot. Like obviously.
Maybe it's
He's
an
not
attitude
Hansel.
thing. Maybe he's just got a lot of riz. He's got like so much charisma going on.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but like I was shocked. And so she showed me 100 videos. And while we were doing this in the rabbit hole, I found this Happy Socks ad that we were both enamored by. And we watched it at least 15 times. You're right, Lexi. He was the best part of that movie, but the movie still ultimately sucked.
So hot right now.
He's so
You know who
hot
also
right
is the
now.
daddy? The
Handsome.
daddy of WB is Christopher Nolan, and he's coming back because
Mm.
Chris Nolan's been offered a 7-figure contract, not even a contract, just a bonus to come back to WB because of what happened before with Tenet when they put it right to streaming. Because during 2020, we know they were putting everything out to streaming. WB was on the actual HBO Max, which is now Max now, of course. But when this happened, he was pissed. He went out there calling HBO Max the worst streaming service ever, which led to him leaving Warner
He
Brothers
was
and taking
kinda
his
rude.
ball.
kind of
He was pissed. He was pissed. He publicly announced them, and he took his ball and went to Universal, and then Universal is now doing Oppenheimer. So that ball took over there, and WB is like changing their whole thing. They're all higher ups, and they're like, we need some Nolan back. And there's some rumors what might happen to them next, but they wanted him back. So they said, we're going to give you a bonus. We're going to pay you a 7-figure bonus. And hopefully that helps fix what happened with Tenet and then come back to us. And apparently it worked because now he's doing post-production of Oppenheimer at WB.
I'm
He's
sorry,
back in his
have
office
$1
there.
million.
Have $1 million. Come back to work
Wait.
for us.
Hold on. First of all, I read 3 articles on this, and it says in every article that they awarded him a royalty check. Now, if anybody who has ever
Bonus.
no, but it said royalty check, and a royalty is something that you earn on the back end for something that you produce, like musicians, filmmakers, things of this nature. So a royalty is something that you fucking earned. That is language in your contract that you should already like. It's not the way that they're describing it. It's like it's his money. Like I don't know how you're being like, oh, we gave him his royalty. It's like you're like, oh, you gave me my residual for acting on whatever Southland, and it was this much money, and we gave it to you as an offer of good faith. No, I earned that money. That's in my contract.
Right.
Like when I do,
Yeah,
when I
good
go
faith,
and
they
I
were saying.
act, you give. They said good faith, but they also use the word royalty, which is very contradictory. Makes me very
And bonus.
confused.
I read bonus on multiple times too. They said bonus too.
It's
I
sketch.
read
Whatever
bonus-
it is, it's sketch.
It's soup. Something is rotten in Denmark. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Something's
Seems
in
fucking
the
weird.
rain. That's all I can say.
You
I
saying
think
you
that he
gotta
just
drink.
but I think that he's probably excited that he got this money though.
I'm sure he is.
Men will be
No
delighted,
one's mad.
Lexi.
And they're also like
$1
for tenant. Like I'm like, that's like his royalties
No,
for like a
it's-
year worth of tenant preview? Like I don't understand.
It's a payoff,
ambiguous.
Sabrina. It's a payoff because they know that he was saying he was getting fucked.
Then don't
He said he
call
was
it a
not
fucking
getting paid enough.
royalty. Don't call it
Well,
a royalty.
They have to don't call it a comeback, but it's a comeback for him. That's what it is. That's what it's a comeback. And they're excited to have him back. You wait. This will be announced. They'll have more projects coming now, and he'll come back to WB. He'll be back there shooting. I love me some Nolan. Right, Lexi? Men love Nolan. She said in the chat. And I love me some Nolan.
I keep putting this up here. I'm sorry.
And I'm happy he might come back. But again, I'm shocked after everything he said that they actually bring him back, but they're going to give him a chance to come back. They're going to fix this. I mean, give us some money, $1 million, Rachel. Yeah, suckle on. I mean, the WBT.
Do not ever use the word suckle again. It is so offensive to everybody involved. Like nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to just lose that from your vocabulary, please and thank you.
Sabrina, the only person that's suckling is Harry on Megan's tits. That's what's suckling. And they were suckling on Showtime on Spotify, but not anymore. So Spotify deal is done. The Spotify deal is done. They were expecting a second season when they did this. It was all supposed to be like, we're getting multiple seasons of this podcast. Well, no, it's gone. It's done after one season, which was number one. It was number one when they actually debuted, number one overseas at least. And then, of course, that makes sense more than anything. But now, because when that went down, they're like, nah, okay, we're done. But they're hoping to actually shop it around to go someplace else for a second season.
No one's going to do that.
TV shows. Yeah, but who's going to actually do that? They had a $20 million contract with Spotify. It's like Seth Rogen money. That's what it was. And so it's like, or Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is a different guy.
I was like, wait,
I would much rather listen to Seth Rogen than Joe Rogan personally.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually. I can't do his laugh. I can't do it. But Spotify is good. They're done with archetypes. Is called archetypes. They're done with archetypes, where she was, exploring labels that held women back. That's what the whole podcast was about. But it's done. And then Spotify's been laying people off. They laid 200 people off recently. And they've been saying their numbers haven't been good, even though they just had like a huge increase of Spotify users, like 15. I think it was like 83 million users they have right now. So I mean, like they have a lot of people involved. So Spotify's doing fine. They're still paying people money. But I just think because of everything that's happened with them, and they said, hey, we're done doing this, but they're still like going to shop this around and try to find a new home for their Spotify podcast. I don't know. To me, just be done. Right, Rachel? Be done. What do you think?
I have no opinion. Like I do not care either way. If she wants to host a show and talk about women's stuff, cool. Let's talk about women's stuff. She's a powerful figure.
Not what it is.
She can bring light to a lot of issues, and if she's using that platform for good, great.
She's not.
I don't care. I just don't care. Like,
I'm just letting you know she's not doing that, just to be clear.
Yeah, then they can do whatever with their lives. It's not something that I've ever given two shits about. Like, live your life, do your thing.
Yeah, I know. It's
much like Bryan Cranston's retirement. Did we need a press release for this?
Press release
but
about
at
this?
least I like Bryan Cranston. Okay,
right.
At least I care what he's doing.
Nobody.
Sabrina, you would notice if Bryan Cranston took a 6-month vacation.
No, I don't even know that, but at least I like him. Like, I wasn't annoyed when I read. I mean, I was like, well, why are you doing this? But I wasn't like, I will literally jump off a bridge if I have to hear one more thing about you and your nonsense. Like, which is how I feel about her and him. Like, I'm like, it's just too much.
What? Sabrina, are you bummed, Sabrina? You were listening to this, right? You watched or listened to every episode?
So bummed. I don't know what I'm going to do with my time from now on. No, dude, this is such a fucking bullshit situation. Okay, she was. I like how you're just laughing at me, like you're like, I'm going to tear this woman apart for the twat that she is, because she is a twat.
Oh boy, suckle on that, Sabrina.
She don't say that word. It is so off-putting.
Is suckle or moist worse?
I hate them both. I don't. That's an excellent question, Rachel. Thank you for asking. I'm going to go with
there is a lot of moisture involved in suckling.
Oh, it's true. It's a combo.
It's very true. They go hand in hand.
I hate them equally now. Okay, so let me get down to brass tacks here. Her podcast, which they paid her,
I just saw Lexi's comment.
$1 billion for
it. She's the royal family's Leah Michelle, except for she could probably read.
Oh shit!
But I don't think she could sing, so it's kind of even.
Shots fired.
Just saying.
Shots fired. Time to drink on that one.
Kind of
Shots
even.
fired.
Everybody cheers.
Mm.
We're fucking everything up now.
No, we're not. We're having a good time.
Oh no, I didn't mean in a bad way. I didn't put any Modelo in that. That's intense. Okay, so I'm gonna get to my breakdown. It's gonna be very quick.
Go.
I mean, I've already drug it out for 15 minutes for no reason. She did this podcast on Spotify, which she received a very hefty paycheck. I believe it was $1 million, right? For 13 episodes, I think it is.
20 million. 20 million.
Oh, okay. So 1 million an episode plus another 7 million for good faith, apparently. So she does this thing, podcast, if you can call it that, and her producers are actually the ones who are doing the podcast. She pre-records her shit, her questions, her bullshit, and then the producers meet with the guests and have them answer her fucking questions.
That's some bullshit. Then she does. I didn't know.
She does a post wrap up. Yeah, it is the laziest $20 million anyone ever will make.
Podcast. At
Lazy
least
cast.
Show up for the fucking interview.
No. She has other things to do. She has to pretend she's being discriminated against by the royal family. She has to pretend there's car chases happening. She has to go accept awards that don't exist.
Both can be true. She can both be being discriminated against and be an asshole. Both can be true.
I don't think she's being discriminated. I'm discriminating against her for being an asshole, not for being anything else other than an asshole. And if you are an asshole, you should be discriminated against by anyone and everyone.
But not for your race. You should be discriminated against because you're an asshole.
That's what I said. She's not getting discriminated against because of her race. She's getting discriminated against for being an asshole. And now she's pulling her poor husband into it and making him be discriminated against from his family for being an asshole. In reality, if she would just have I don't honestly, it boggles the mind how she was living in one of their castles, but it's really a cottage. It's the one bed. But she was so philanthropic and going around and doing all these great things. And that's what literally you do as a member of the royal family. They were going on press tours and helping people. And that also was a passion of his. So this was something they could have bonded on and still bared their titles and done what they what their leg of their royal tour, whatever it's called, is would have been amazing. And I think it would have actually helped a shit ton of people around the world. But I really don't think that she is that person. And I think that she really was just I'm not saying she did all those things just to pretend to do them, but at the same time, I feel if that was her passion and that was his passion, that they would still be doing that. But now it seems like their passion is trying to suckle money out of anything and anyone that will give it to them. That's right. I used it. And so the fact that Spotify saw the writing on the wall, realized what was going on, realized that they were overpaying for something that no one gave a fuck about.
Did Spotify drop them or did they drop Spotify?
They dropped Spotify. I say good for you, Spotify. Congratulations in fucking honor of Pride Month. And you are amazing. And I love you. And I will listen to you every day from now until the rest of my life. Because anyone who is contributing to putting money in their pockets when they're making a mockery out of their family, out of his family, for nothing, for over embellished bullshit. So I'm really happy with Spotify.
Again, both can be true. They can be making a mockery of the royal family, but also the royal family also kind of makes a mockery of themselves. It's a ridiculous establishment.
Yeah, but it's not a ridiculous establishment for people who live in the UK. This is what they know. This is what they do. There's hundreds of thousands of people in the street wearing wedding dresses when they got married. They're the coronation was a production that the entire country took place in, or took part in, rather, and was looking forward to it. We're gonna have these.
And there's
listen, that's their culture. That's not our place to say what they should do with their culture. If you were you guys shouldn't have a democracy and you shouldn't possibly. No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying, I whether you agree or I agree that the monarchy is useful or not is insignificant because it exists and it has existed for fucking ever and a day. And the fact that this is something that someone from America or Canada, wherever the fuck she's from, North Carolina, I don't even know,
California?
felt she could. No, I don't think she's from California. I know she was shooting in Canada. I think she's from I mean, maybe, I don't know. I
I
honestly,
grew
I
up in
don't care.
California. Yeah.
I would love to not look that up because I don't give a shit, which is something that I never do. I usually like to know all this information, but she is exhausting. And like the fact that she, like,
Canoga Park.
I feel like Canoga Park. Ding,
Yep, that's
ding,
where she
ding,
was born.
Rachel. Gay it up, you win a point.
Born in Canoga Park, California.
Yeah, shocking. Of course she's a California fake ass bitch. But the thing
And if you watch The Secret Life of the American Teenager, that's where that took place. It's a random
in
fact for you.
Canoga Park, is she
Are
on
you
that
really
show?
into Secret Life of the American Teenager,
No,
Brian?
he
Is that
worked
your
on
favorite
it.
show?
I worked on it for
Oh, okay.
multiple seasons, so
Right.
that's the only reason why I will say that.
Multiple seasons.
Well,
Just
3 seasons. So,
That is
yeah.
suckle
multiple.
on that, Lexi. And
Mhm.
why did I call you Lexi? Rachel, Jesus, Lexi. Sorry, Lexi in the chat. Sorry, Rachel in my human face right in front of me. I think I should stop drinking for a minute. I think I'm
And
already too
also,
Wait,
sorry,
no,
Kevin Spacey.
no, Kevin Spacey. We're not ready. I'm not ready.
Hey,
We're not
yes,
done.
we are.
We're still suckling
No.
on Megan's teeth.
I'm suckling on the fact that Megan is a cunt. Like, can we just like go back like 2 seconds?
Well,
But again,
we
both
can't
could be
talk about her
true.
forever.
She can be a cunt, and the royal family.
She
can be
makes me so mad. I just don't like that you stick up for her, Rachel.
I'm not sticking up for her. I'm sticking up for just
You
the
kind of
concept of
are.
2 things that can be true. Because, like, look what the royal family did to Diana. That was fucked.
It was
So
fucked.
obviously they're not
I mean, the
great people
paparazzi.
either.
No,
The paparazzi in general, Rachel, was
You're-
fucked up how they do
Yeah.
try to treat the royal family. But that's part of their whole thing, though.
also
The people pay for it. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. I feel like you're both 100% wrong. Okay, move on to Kevin Spacey because I'm gonna burst a brain vessel right now.
That doesn't work
Do
that
it.
way. I can't just like move on to Kevin Spacey. That's not how this
Let
works.
me talk about like somebody suckling the teat of an underage person. Segue. No, didn't work out. Okay,
That's
I was going to
That
try
was
for
a
the
Ke-
awkward segue.
it's a Kevin Spacey segue. That's totally appropriate, you guys. Is it not?
Anyway, speaking of inappropriate, I want to talk about Kevin Spacey for a second.
There you go.
Which
Now
what
you
that
found
was
it.
very inappropriate. But Kevin Spacey is telling people that if his charges are dropped in the UK, which he's going to court June 28th this year, if they're dropped, he's telling people, he's saying that he's got people calling him being like, they're ready to bring him back to work. And he said right now he believes that his comeback is right around the corner. All he's got to do is get this cleared, and he thinks he'll be cleared pretty soon. This summer he'll be cleared. And then he says, all I know is there are people right now who are ready to hire me. At the moment that I get cleared of these charges in London, the second that happens, they're ready to move forward with me right away. And, you know, he's been not working for quite a few years now.
Well, that's
He's
what
been
happens
alleged
when you're a fucking pedophile. You don't get
alleged
jobs,
sexual assault incidents took place between 2001 and 2013. You know, that's a long time. And he believes that he keeps saying he's innocent forever, Rachel. He's like, I'm innocent. I've been innocent the whole time.
Yeah,
And,
that's what pedophiles say.
I know.
That's what everyone says. Pedophile or not, if you're a criminal, you're innocent. Like, let's be clear.
I mean, innocent until proven guilty, but I mean, I don't know. Like, that's like my question out here too. It's like he says he's innocent. He says people call him. I believe people are calling him. I believe that people still want to hire Kevin Spacey because he is
Because
a
people
fucking
don't
great
care.
actor.
People don't care about sexual assault.
That's
For
the thing. They
some
don't.
reason, you can just do that. And like, look at the
That's-
Flash movie. The Flash movie is still going forward and being released and being hyped up. And that guy did fucking terrible things.
It's not
And it's
That's the
ridiculous.
theme
And
tonight.
nobody cares.
That was not
That's the theme
sexual
tonight,
assault, though. He
Rachel.
didn't
Tonight is-
sexually
No,
assault
but
That is-
it's still like people don't care about Hollywood people doing terrible things. Is the point?
That's
like,
why
you
I
can do
call
terrible
tonight-
things and still get work.
Easily. That's why I call tonight canceled or comeback. That's what tonight's episode's called, because are you canceled or comeback? And for Kevin Spacey, he's saying that he's going to have a comeback. And honestly, like, I love him as an actor, but the stuff that he's fucking done that, you know, and it was a joke. It's been a joke. Like, I mean, in Hollywood for years before this actually came out was like that Kevin Spacey just, you know, liked all the young boy PAs. That was a thing. And, you know, but people like would brush their heads to the side and not, it's allegations. It's not, there's no facts that we have. No one's really come forward besides the people that have come forward, but PAs haven't. All these PAs haven't. It's usually people like actors and stuff that have come forward. And the thing is, though, if he gets cleared, do you think that he'll have a comeback, though? Do you think that he'll be able to start working again and be back to normal as business, like nothing happened? Or do you think that he'll still be jaded? That's the question tonight. Let's go with Sabrina here, and let's see what Sabrina says, and then we'll go to Rachel. Sabrina, what do you think about this?
Well, okay. So I think that obviously he has engaged in some very inappropriate behavior in the past. Period. There's no way that you have I know that this specific like trial is in regards to 12 sexual offense charges, but
Yes.
altogether it's just about 40 sexual offense charges. So no one has 40 people alleging that they either grabbed their dick or forced them to perform a sexual act, or fucking verbally abused them, or did things that they thought that they could do because they thought that they could do it. Like Anthony Rapp said that he woke up with him on top of him. Someone else said that he woke up to him, performing oral sex on them. A lot of people, and like reputably, like a writer, a filmmaker, a director, like people like in the business have said that he unwantingly grabbed their genitals. A massage therapist, a bartender. Like there are many, many people that have accused him of doing inappropriate things. So I think that it did happen in some capacity. Obviously, I know in a trial you're innocent until proven guilty, but what chance did Anthony Rapp have of proving that he did this to him when he was 14 years old? Like, what kind of evidence can you produce from when you were 14 years old, when you're a grown man now? Like, how can you possibly, in a court of law, prove beyond a reason of shadow? I'm sorry. Wait, is it?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Beyond reasonable doubt.
In the words of The Rock, without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow, that was super special. Like, how can you do that when it was something that happened so long ago and you were basically a child? Like, I feel like he may very well get off on for all of these charges. Like, he may very well be exonerated, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it. That being said, I think like his dad apparently is a very like manly, like white supremacist fucking douchebag. And I think that he suppressed his homosexuality through most of his life. And so I think that in his position of power, he chose consciously or unconsciously to act out in these ways because he didn't feel like he could do it normally in the view of anyone else or with any like ownership of it.
I mean, you can be a secret homo and not assault people.
Oh, 100%. I think that if he thought that maybe if he had a relationship with someone, that it would be like something that they could then be like, oh, if we broke up, I'm going to put this in the news. I think that he thought if he was doing these weird ghost things, because he started doing it like when Anthony Rapp was 14. How old is that motherfucker now? I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time now.
So I feel like
he's 51 now.
I mean,
that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
And,
is that even within the statute of limitations? Like we were talking about before.
It's because they did that lift. They did that lift.
You have to
like
lift.
They do these periodic lifts where like you can jump in there and put litigation on somebody like that. Like which is
but that's criminal. It's not criminal though. It's just for money, pretty much.
Civil,
it's
civil.
But still, his career needs to be fucked. Like he needs to be done. He doesn't get to be on set anymore.
He is such a good fucking actor that is such a fucking shame, but I agree with you.
Right.
Like you can't, I mean, I don't know. You just can't possibly.
It sucks when you hear that.
Come back from that. Like it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. I'm sure people will hire him and I'm sure he'll do an amazing fucking job. But there is like a weird, like, on House of Cards, he had to pay like, $31 million or $30 million or something to the studio because they had to rewrite the season, fire him, push like, so all of the money that they lost in regards because of this shit.
Good.
Yeah.
And he may have had a morality clause. A lot of these contracts now because he did.
It was a breach of contract. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I mean, they decided on that. It's not a court thing, but he had to pay that money and he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and when that Anthony Rapp shit first came out, he said, like, if I did that, I'm so sorry. Like, it was a fucking unexcusable drunken behavior. I'm sorry for all those feelings that you meant. And then, like, later on, he was like, well, my publicist made me say that. I didn't do that. I never did that. That's ridiculous. So, like, I think for you to even muster up your thumbs to type that on Twitter, there had to be a stitch. I would never say that because my publicist told me to if I knew I didn't do that. You know what I mean?
It's even shittier to be like, well, I didn't mean it.
I mean, but at least he was like taking
my dude.
He's like, I don't remember this. If it did happen, maybe I was in a drunken blackout. I should probably go to fucking, he was at least, I'm not saying I would have accepted it if I was Anthony Rapp, but like at least he was taking some sort of ownership for this thing. But then later on, he was like, no, my publicist made me say that. That's fucking bullshit. I will never again admit to something I didn't fucking do. And like kind of dug his heels in on the other side. And now he gave this interview to this German magazine, basically saying like, or German paper rather, saying that he expects it to all go away, just like the Anthony Rapp thing, which I think is
he
fucking
thinks it's gonna be gone. He thinks
How
it'll all be gone.
dare you bring that poor kid into this that you probably most likely did actually do some inappropriate things.
There's some weird shit though, Sabrina. Like that happened, but there's also like there's things like that one bar situation where the guy was there at the bar and then he's like bought him a few drinks and he was underage and then like it kind of escalated.
That was a random person who probably was jumping on a bandwagon, but there is a bartender in a bar that he frequented. There was Richard Dreyfuss's son was at a table read at a playhouse. There was a playhouse that he regularly worked at. It was called the Old Vic Theater. The Old Vic Theater, 20 people in that theater accused him of doing inappropriate things.
20.
You don't get 40 people making
in one theater that he worked at.
That's not made up at that point.
But I feel like he just didn't. There was a reporter, an English, a UK reporter's son who was 18 fucking years old. Like there was a lot, like I said, Richard Dreyfuss's son. They were doing a fucking table read. Like and again 20, and also on the House of Cards. Like there was like several assistants that came forward and said that
I love that
he
show.
made it very fucking uncomfortable for any boy production assistant or person that had to interact with him. He made it very difficult for them. So
I worked with a lot of people that said that was his thing. Like he would ask for the youngest boy PA to be the person that pick him up in the morning, take care of him during the day, check in with him in his room, and then he would make moves and advances on them all the time. This is allegedly again, but this is what I've heard from stories working here for over 14 years.
That's so. And I don't buy the premise of him trying to hide his sexuality because you don't molest that many people trying to hide it.
I'm not saying he was trying to hide it. I'm just saying like him not being able to come to, and I'm not a psychologist. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just saying he has openly said that his father was very fucking militant and a white supremacist, and like that behavior would be 100% unacceptable in his house. So he didn't feel comfortable in his own skin. He didn't feel comfortable. Maybe, by the way, this all made him come out. So maybe he only said this shit and it's not even fucking true. And he's dragging his dad's name through the mud. Who knows? But he said this because this has come out, and he said he never felt comfortable in his own skin. He didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't want to talk about his feelings. So like, and I'm not saying that that's any fucking excuse. I'm just saying that like, if there's a way, like, a lot of people who are victims don't come forward. But,
absolutely.
But if you and I were in a relationship and you did some fucked up shit to me, I'd be like, this bitch right here. And I would have no problem with that. But like, if you assaulted me, I might be like, I'm just not comfortable putting myself in that position.
But Rachel, do you think that he can have a career again? I know this is all like the allegations have come forward. We've heard about there's like so many people that have come forward saying something happened. Just like Bill Cosby just had like 9 more people just charge him again today. Yeah. I mean, this is how it goes. Do you think he can have a career? Do you think that this he can get clear from this, and then like 10 more people will come forward and be like, "Hey, you sexually assaulted me too," and then he won't have a career? Like, what do you think?
Do I want him to have a career? Absolutely not. Do I think that he may be approached for jobs? Absolutely. I don't know, because while he is a talented actor, the gay of it all does kind of change it, because straight people can, molest whoever the fuck they want and have their career. Roman Polanski made tons of movies after his whole problems. He just moved out of the country,
never came back to the US.
So, and people his movies were put in theaters and he made a ton of money. So he faced 0 consequences professionally for his actions. And Sean Penn beat the shit out of Madonna and faced 0 consequences for his career. There's all sorts of straight people who have done all sorts of terrible things.
I didn't know that.
No consequences to their career. But when you bring in the homo of it all, minorities and gay people tend to suffer a lot harder because of actions that everyone should suffer for, but only they seem to be held responsible for. So I think that's going to affect it.
Do you think this is like something that
we would like to think that we live in a world where that wouldn't matter anymore? But I think if
we don't,
he'd been molesting young girls, his career would be fine after this.
Do you think that's still like something that, like, because he's dealing with it, trying to figure out? I mean, he came out. He did come out and say he was gay. He came out and said he was gay after all of this. You know, he had that whole statement to move forward. But do you think that is partially why people are going that hard on him? But it's like, it's so many people, Rachel. That's the thing.
I agree, but there's still plenty of people out there who think Bill Cosby shouldn't be in jail.
It's true, and he's not in jail.
So, and shouldn't face consequences. So like there's still plenty of people who thought Bill Cosby shouldn't face any consequences. There's people who thought all sorts of people are just falling to cancel culture and Me Too, like, and didn't deserve any consequences for their actions when they were proven to be molesters. And so I do think that the homo of it all does factor into the fact that more people think he should have consequences, even though every one of these people should have consequences.
Everyone should, but maybe that also is why he just was so like low key about this the whole time. He didn't know how to deal with it. You know, there's also that. Maybe he didn't know how to deal with it, and his whole move was just grab him by the dick. You know, that's what it was.
Which I do feel bad for closeted actors in Hollywood, because it is a hard decision to make to come out, because it can and will affect your career.
It's tough.
I feel like now it's a lot you have actors
like Neil Patrick Harris who have leaned into their career, and MPH is doing great. He's doing just fine.
He's fucking great. Fuck yeah, Doogie Howser, get it all day.
The guy who plays Sheldon, openly gay, doing just fine. But
they're of a different
generation. Slightly of a different. Yeah, I was about to say he comes from a slightly older generation, so yeah, I do have sympathy for the fact that it is hard to be openly gay in that time. But
even
you don't have to
he hasn't still done anything. So, people hear about Travolta being gay. He hasn't come forward yet.
It's always been like a whisper on the street, like that this has happened with Kevin Spacey. Like that's always been like a rumor, and only because I work on set. Like you hear whispers, like it's not, but it's never been publicly.
Right. And Harvey Weinstein was an open secret too.
That was the other thing. Whisper on the street. I like that whisper on the street.
100%. But like, I just mean like even that he was gay, not that he was an abuser. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that he was gay. Like, and it was, but no one really knew. So for you to be able to keep that secret for such a long time, because he has been famous for a really long time, and also an amazing. It's not like he's like, you know, subpar actor that's like famous-ish. Like he is.
Well, you know how many old school Hollywood people were closeted?
I mean, that was a whole thing for years, you know. Because the whole masculine figure, a lot of times people want somebody that's like the manly man riding the horse for years at old school Hollywood. A lot of people were not.
It's not like Kevin Spacey played any manly man parts. Like, you know what I mean? He always played like
the one moment.
An eccentric, like brilliant, like, I mean,
always he's had some great characters. They're always really crazy characters. But that's one thing I feel bad a little bit is like he wasn't able to be himself publicly. And maybe if he was able to, this wouldn't have happened. All the people wouldn't have been affected and hurt along the way because he couldn't put himself out there. But then again,
I mean, you could do this to go that far. Dahmer. If Jeffrey Dahmer could have been openly gay, he may not have done all the murders.
You're right.
Like,
you're totally right.
There is a societal failure, but also there's personal responsibility.
No. He brought those people to his house because those people wanted to fuck him, and he still murdered them. So that is different.
Right.
Even that boyfriend, you know what I mean?
The societal pressure of not being able to be open and be yourself, and the familial pressure of not being able to be open and be yourself.
He would never be open to his family, but like I guess maybe you could say you're right. You could say maybe that's why he killed his victims, so they can never speak of the fact that they fucked him.
Yeah. So there's societal pressures too, but that does not absolve anyone of personal responsibility.
No. I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be as easy as he says to get his career back because of
it won't.
Like the Bill Cosby effect. As like I'm going to call it the Bill Cosby effect. Like I'm saying today, I literally came out today that like 9 more women were saying like there's a lawsuit in Nevada right now against him, another civil suit, and it's like against Bill Cosby. After that one we talked about like a week ago, there's like 9 more that are coming forward. You know what I mean? There's one there now because Nevada pulled the whole restrictions also, too for civil suits. So it's the same as that with Kevin Spacey.
One quick point. These are also civil suits.
Yeah.
Right? So even if they win and he pays them money, he's not going to jail.
He's not going to jail.
It's about the principle of it. Like
nobody wants that. Nobody wants that stigmata on the set.
There's a different mindset, I think, or perception when you are actually going to jail for a crime or when you're paying somebody a bunch of money for a crime.
Like it's easier to hide a civil suit.
100%. And I don't agree with it at all, but that is a fact.
Right.
Sabrina, look at the business though. The business aspect, you look at that and it causes so many problems where People putting butts in the seats. Butts in the seats always a big thing for studios at movie theaters. Put the butts in the seats. Now you have that kind of drama going into a movie. Do you want that person there when they want that top dollar? You don't want that.
It's not hurting the Flash. Ezra Miller kidnapped and abused people, and that's doing just fine.
We'll get to that soon enough, Rachel. We'll get to that soon enough. But we will. But Kevin Spacey has been a fantastic actor, and a lot of people are probably hurt because he did this, but a lot of people were hurt because of him. But a big movie he did is now getting a TV series on Netflix. I'm talking about Se7en. Se7en is coming to Netflix, everybody, which I think is like, I'm like, yeah, what's in the box? What's in the box? Apparently,
John Doe has the upper hand now.
This is happening. David Fincher's coming back too, they're saying, because Fincher's been working on Netflix for a while, but Netflix and him are working hand in hand on this and do a series based off of this franchise. Well, this movie. They're going to branch and do a whole series about this. Se7en came out in 1995. You got Brad Pitt in there. You got, I mean, Brad Pitt was so fucking good in there. Of course, you got Kevin Spacey in there too. Kevin Spacey was great in this too, as the actual serial killer, not serial raper.
One of his best roles ever.
I mean, you can be so talented and a piece of shit. Two things can be true.
This movie made $327.5 million.
Or you could be Meghan Markle and not be talented and also be a piece of shit. So welcome for that.
Duality.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, Brad Pitt played David Mills, who was a young, arrogant detective. You had Morgan Freeman in this, ready to hire a veteran. And then Kevin Spacey, of course, was the killer. But David Fincher is going to work hand in hand. They're going to make a series based off this. There's not much news about this yet, as opposed to it's just happening. It's happening. So, early developments, Se7en, the series. Rachel, are you excited about this? Do you want to see this happen? Or should they have left Se7en back in 1995?
So fucking unnecessary. That was a wonderful standalone film. Did not need anything else. That was it. Like, what are you gonna do? Make a Fight Club series? Like, it doesn't fucking need it. Just let it be.
Right? I mean, the acting was great in it, right? David Fincher's direction was awesome in it.
I have no criticism for the film. Wonderful film. Very entertaining. Had lots of great twists and turns, and it kept you enthralled in it. It does not need to be a TV show.
Phenomenal acting. Overall, Fincher is one of Fincher's best, I think, honestly. And it's so good. It just, everything across the board is so good. But, I mean, Fincher's involved, though, so I think maybe it'll be okay, and maybe it'll play off of, like, you know, some kind of, like, serial killer drama type thing, like maybe kind of fall in the NCIS a little bit realm, but like with a continuation vibe to it.
Procedurals. We don't need any more fucking procedurals. I'm up to my eyeballs.
Netflix does apparently. Netflix does. They're looking for properties, looking for good money, and they got Odie Fincher on the
Law and Order spinoff. Then, get Dick Wolf involved.
I'm like, what's the point of this? Sabrina, do you want to see this at all? Do you want to see Fincher do a series based off Se7en?
It's oh fuck. No. Because I studied film in college, and David Fincher was my favorite director at the time. My senior thesis was on Fight Club. I wrote a 22-page paper on Fight Club, and reference the similarities in Se7en and Panic Room, and like basically Fincher's style of directing and Fincher's style of editing, not just directing, like what you see on the screen, which is
it all goes hand in hand.
A lot of directors are not 100% into that. Like, especially in the sitcom world, they have zero say over what happens in those takes. They just show up and do their thing. So it's one of my top 5 favorite films of all time. Se7en is, and Kevin Spacey, the fact that they kept it hidden, that it was him, the way that it came out, the 7 deadly fucking sins. Brad Pitt was fucking epic. Morgan Freeman was epic. Like the dialogue. Like when he came in with his hands up and his bloody fucking fingers and said, I'm turning myself in. And then Mills tries to turn around on him when they were in the car. And he's like, what the fuck did you have on me? Oh, I remember being in your apartment. And he's like, yeah, well, you didn't have shit until I walked into your fucking police station with my fucking hands up. Like it was just so fucking epic. He had her head brought out to the I cannot think of a better movie.
Good.
Might be my favorite movie of all time. It is so fucking great. And I hate Gwyneth Paltrow, and I'm sad she was a part of it, but fuck her. She's in it and she dies. Her head's in the box. Surprise, surprise. Spoiler alert. It's just one. It's
Spoiler
I
alert
don't.
for a 20-year-old
Why would
movie.
why would
20
you
years ago,
fuck?
right? Yeah.
Why would you fuck with
95.
perfection? I don't understand. I also don't understand how you can actually do this. Because is it a one-off? Like, is it a copycat killer that is doing because it's called Seven, and it's called Seven because
Yep.
it's 7 deadly sins. So is it
Yep.
a copycat killer that is coming in and doing the same type of thing, and maybe they can get Brad Pitt and or Morgan Freeman to come in and help a younger detective solve the case, and then once we're invested, they go on to another crime? That's literally the only scenario I can see it working.
I'd be down if they both came back.
I mean, I mean, it's David Fincher, so I'm in. I'm very skeptical and I don't like it, but I'm in. I will watch
What
it.
if they came back? It is a new crime. It's a whole thing, but it's them together working together doing
You
like
can't
maybe a
call
limited
it
series.
7. You can't call it 7 unless it's 7 deadly. Like, it has to be a
It
copycat.
could be like you were saying. It could be a copycat. It could be a copycat. You know, or maybe this will be Kevin Spacey's first job back.
7 crimes. That's 7. Like that. The fucking. I mean, I don't know. If it's a copycat situation, they bring them in on consult, and
He died. Kevin Spacey died in this, right?
No.
He didn't die, right? No.
Oh yeah, he did. He shot him in the fucking head. Yes, he did.
I thought he died.
He did.
So you can't bring him back.
Morgan begged him not to kill him, but he did.
Yep, he still did. That's right. And then he went to jail.
It's because he said she begged for her life and the life for the baby inside her. Oh, he didn't know, and then he fucking shot him in the head. So I'm guessing by now Brad Pitt's out of jail. Morgan Freeman's retired. Maybe they come together and try to help the new detectives figure out this copycat killer. Like, I might be okay with that. But if it's some weird, not parallel situation,
like, nah.
Did you warm spray me? Did you just literally warm spray me?
The concept, not you.
Wow. I mean, I kind of love that, actually. I love what you just did. I'm gaying it up right now. Cheers to you.
Fincher, though. Fincher is he has everything planned. Like, he knows exactly how it's supposed to look. And when he's shooting something, he knows exactly every frame. I worked on Mank. And I don't know if I've talked about that show before. But like on Mank, like with Gary Oldman, like the camera guys would literally like on their monitor, they would draw around images with a Sharpie on their monitor or a dry erase marker. And they draw around things when they actually panned over to something or set a shot, it would fill exactly the right frame that he would want. And if they didn't, he would know. He'd be like, that's not the right frame. Like, he knows exactly everything, every frame, every image, every shot, what it's supposed to look like. It's insane. It's insane. The man has it all in his mind.
I would like to not angrily, I guess sadly say that his early films are better than his later films. I'm sorry, David Fincher. I do love you, but Seven and Fight Club are like literally like cinematic masterpieces as far as I'm concerned. And even Panic Room, which is not something that people are like super jazzed about. If you look at it like from a film study standpoint and the shots of everything that happens, the way that he travels through the safe, through the floorboards, through, it's fucking genius. And I feel like he went a little bit mainstream. You mean Gary Oldman's ex-wife?
No, Fincher's wife.
But weren't they married to the same person?
Oh, they were at one point. Yes, they were, and then they're divorced. That's a whole.
Oh, they're both divorced from her.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that. Okay, never mind.
No, they're both divorced from her.
He
married her afterwards.
Fun fact.
He married her. Yeah, I'm like, that must be some weird stuff because Gary Oldman was like raising one of his kids for a little bit, which is weird too.
So weird.
It's an odd relationship, but they worked together and they were fine. They had moments, everybody has moments.
I think he's one of the most talented directors of my film watching generation.
And that could be true. But do we think that he would sell out and make a crappy version of his own property for Netflix?
No.
I hope not.
No.
I hope not.
No, I don't think he would sell it at all. I really don't. I really don't, honestly. Because Brian worked on Mank, and he was so specific about like what he was just describing. I don't think
they were sharing
he would ever sell out his vision. Honestly, like I think that is super. And people have said, like,
is he directing it or is he just consulting?
Yes,
on it?
he is directing.
Directing.
Okay.
Yep. Directing it. Yep.
So I don't know. I still think it's a bad idea.
I don't want it, but I'm gonna watch it. I don't want it, but I'm gonna watch it. And I hope it's what I said or something. even better than what I said.
Sabrina is super harsh on shows, so if she says it's good, I'll watch it.
I'm gonna watch it too. I'm gonna check it out.
I will watch it first and tell you.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the new Spider-Verse Beyond the Spider-Verse because I love the first two. I think they're great. The last one that just came on theaters right now, it's out right now. It's actually a lot of fun. I think the first one's, I might be controversial saying this. I think the first one's still better, but this one's still a lot of fun.
I don't think that's controversial at all. I think that's the most common opinion.
True.
I mean, I just feel like it just had, because the way it worked out in this new one was it didn't have that team dynamic that they had in the first one that worked so well, the oddball team. And they set it up, spoiler alert, they set up for the third one for that team to come back. So this was just like a transitional type thing. And it still had a lot of heart. It felt great. I mean, it was fun. Phil Lord and Chris Miller got this right. They didn't get, Star Wars right when they did Han Solo, but they got this right. They got this right because they did do the Han Solo movie and then they got fired. And
my controversial opinion is that I like Solo, a Star Wars story.
I liked it too, but that's the whole thing though, Rachel, because we talked about it before about how it was like two different directors and it changed, it warped, and they want to make apparently Han Solo Jim Carrey before, that's what they were saying, but then they changed it again when Ron Howard came. That's a whole thing.
Jim Carrey's not fuckable enough to be Han Solo.
I mean, they were trying to make him
he cannot be Han Solo.
But Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming, and we're talking about that, right? And Beyond the Spider-Verse, they're saying they're going to focus on Gwen Stacy some more, and they're going to have much more variants of Gwen.
Like 5 minutes ago,
they're going to have a lot. They're going to have a lot of variants. Apparently, this one. That's what they're saying. That's what Phil Lord and Chris Miller were saying. They're going to have a bunch of variations, and one they're really excited about. One version's going to be great when it comes out, and on top of that, they're like, it's the end of the whole franchise. So hopefully it's great. It's going to end his and Miles or her and Miles' thing. And there's also some controversy on top of Across the Spider-Verse. And that's what I want to bring up today because I'm just like, this shit drives me nuts sometimes. That the fact that people get mad in different countries about certain little things in movies. Like in this alone, Gwen Stacy, she's in her bedroom talking to her dad. Oh my God, life sucks. You know what I mean? She's having a moment. And just if you look at the picture, way in the top of the corner, all it says is protect trans life. That's it. Mm-hmm. All it says. You know what I mean? And apparently it's canceled now because of that. And it's it's insane. Like some countries are not playing it.
It's not canceled. They still haven't said whether they're gonna let it play or not.
It's not going to play. It's not going to play. Oh, they could. It's easy to edit out.
Exactly. That's the thing.
It's like every first gay Disney character, they'll just edit it out.
Well, Buzz Lightyear they stopped too when Buzz Lightyear came out because there was two people kissing that were the same.
Was a big old lesbian.
Yeah, and they were kissing, and so they were like, "We're not going to let this happen." Big old lesbian. It's just sad because it is a good movie still, so the people there should deserve the chance to watch it. I don't know how much controversy that causes. I barely noticed that when I was watching the movie.
The first one did quite well in that demographic or in that country's demographic. They made, I think, 13 million for the first Into the Spider-Verse in United Arab Emirates. Excuse me. So I feel like it will be a blow to the film's production, also.
I think so too. They could make some good money, right? Spring. Do you think this is a bad thing that they're doing this? So do you think they should just they just let it air, right?
I think it's a bad thing. I mean, I think it's a bad thing when you try to censor anything like that. It's not like you're censoring something like a swastika. It's fucking equal rights for human beings. There's no reason to ever censor that, to ever get upset about that, to ever feel like that's something that you should shield from your people. That's something that you should celebrate. That's something that you should teach. That's something that you should preach. I don't understand in any way, shape, or form how this seems okay to anyone. But at the same time, they have a history of doing things like this. China also has a history of censoring films more for militant reasons as opposed to these.
And Marvel suffers a lot on that too.
Yeah, Marvel, because they have military advisors for all of their fucking films.
Always suffers from it.
But there's and it's a huge, and not that I give a fuck about money because I'm not making any of it. But it is.
It could affect their box office overall.
Oh, it does. That's my point. So the fact that they knew that was a possibility and that it was gonna affect their box office and they still put it in there, I say kudos to you. I say
But they
fucking
also
thank
made
you.
it so small that it could be edited out very easily. Like I
Well,
said,
but they
every Disney film that has 2 seconds of an allusion to a gay character, so they can edit it out for foreign release.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right,
like,
Rachel. Like, what's the point of it then? You know what I mean? Like, they know it's gonna
make
have
it overt, because like among the queer community, there's been a lot of conversations about that wink and about the fact that Gwen Stacy's father has like a trans rights pin or whatever on his suit, and what cop would have a trans rights anything if it wasn't their own kid that was trans? So there's like a lot of
there is a whole thing
illusion.
about her possibly being trans that people are saying.
Within the gay community and the trans community, there's a lot of allusion to the fact that she might be trans that people wouldn't pick up on if they weren't part of those communities. And I think that if they're going to go that route, they need to make it overt. They need to make it in your face. They need to make it a fundamental part of the story so that it can't be edited out. And if they're not willing to die on that hill, then they just need to. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating as part of the community to be so marginalized that they'll give us a little wink so they get our money, but they won't commit to it enough that they can't edit us out. So it's incredibly frustrating. Like, it's nice to have the representation. It means a lot. The trans community has been so excited to have that representation, but to have that representation so easily pulled is just, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the point is, like, it's good it's there, but it's also like, you're right. Like, if you blinked, you would have missed that in the movie. You would have missed it, you know? Like, honestly,
I didn't notice it until after the fact.
I noticed it, but I'm like, I'm very like looking at everything, especially these movies too, because there's so much of it's like a visual, like thunderstruck explosion in my face, and I'm just like, I'm looking at everything, I'm like this, and I'm like, oh, and it was there and gone so fast.
Just commit to it. And even Disney. I went to the gay Disney event on Tuesday. My mom, I joked with her that it would be homophobic for her not to take me, so she bought me a ticket.
Mom's
an ally.
Love that.
Friend of the show.
Love an ally.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. My mom, Cheryl.
Cheryl, friend of the show.
Cheryl, friend of the show. But they're doing that event only in California. They don't have the balls to do it in Florida, where gay rights are actually being challenged.
But they are sticking their foot in Ron DeSantis' ass in
Which
Florida.
I love.
So
I love that they're sticking the foot up Ron DeSantis' ass.
Exactly what BSP is saying. It's a step in the right direction.
It is.
On both accounts.
I would just like them to commit a little bit more. I would like them to say, hey, if you're going to edit this out, you can't show our movie. You don't get Spider-Man if you're going to edit it out.
Yeah. And you want Spider-Man. You want Spider-Man. Especially these. They're so good.
These big corporations have to put pressure, or people are just going to continue to try to erase us, especially right now with everything going on.
The problem is like in other countries, you know, like United Arab Emirates, or like, you know, Qatar, who is hosting the World Cup situation, where like literally if you walked into the stadium with anything that had anything to do with Pride, like you would immediately be detained. You know, that one reporter
they would execute my ass immediately.
Yeah, they're like, bye, Felicia, like you're fucking done.
Right.
Like, so in a situation like that, I mean, I don't think it's really gonna. The fact that they're watching it and they're like, oh, is this cool to watch? And they're like, oh, that tiny poster in the corner.
No, but how do you increase public pressure? If the rest of the country is mad that they can't have Spider-Man because there's gay shit in it, they're going to start to push against their government and say, hey, that's not cool. Give us fucking Spider-Man.
I don't think there's enough people there that are ballsy enough and because with good reason to be like, I cannot rise up against my government. I'm going to wind up fucking dead or in jail. So like for us as an outsider to come in and do that, I think is like, if it would help, I'm all for it. But I just think it would hurt. Like,
it's about incremental change.
But they're also, so like that tiny little poster, maybe they thought they could have snuck by, but those fuckers found it.
It might have been one of those things too. You're right. It might have been, we can sneak it in there, be fine.
It's just a shitty situation. Like you can't there's not enough like support, and maybe there is, but there's not enough like visual vocal support that can do anything. And these people are living in fear of their fucking lives.
Oh, absolutely.
So even
But
It's-
even
it's
in
so-
our own country, with the way that
Oh,
queer people are
100%.
being treated, we're living with fear in our lives. I can't go to
Not
the state
not
of
like
Florida
that
anymore.
Not like that. But
Mm.
yes,
It's getting
I
close.
agree.
It's
I agree with you.
We're
100.
edging towards it every day because Florida passed
And-
those laws that
but
any
also always
sexual
have
crime
been.
can be execution now, and they're considering
Wait, what?
drag shows
And-
as something that is a sexual crime against children. So they're putting the bricks in place to execute drag queens and
Wait, I'm sorry.
trans
I don't.
people and gay people.
I'm gonna need you to back
That
up
should
for a
not
second
be
for me.
ever a thing.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I know I've been drinking, so I'm sorry.
You're
But
Happy Friday,
when you
everybody.
say- when you say execute, like I don't.
They have instituted the death penalty for what they consider to be sex crimes against minors, which is something that most people, when you hear that, you're like, all right, that makes sense. But what they're considering to be sex crimes now are
Is drag queens reading
drag queens
stories to
publicly
children.
being queer, kissing. If I kissed my girlfriend in public, they could consider that a sex crime against a minor if a child
because
saw
a minor might see it.
yes. So
That's
they
insane.
could, with the way their laws are structured, try to give me the death penalty for kissing my girlfriend in public.
That's fucking a lot.
Florida is dangerous for queer people right now, and it's
That-
spreading. And it's hard to live in this country right now. And I'm sorry to take a Spider-Man conversation and divert it this far, but it's
No, but that's
I mean,
what
we were diving
talking
into
about.
it, Spider.
We were talking about that in other countries, so
how it's there. That's what we're talking about. It's how it's there. It's there right there. That's the reason of this conversation too. That will never happen. GR says hopefully not. But that's the thing. That's why it's saying.
That's what people thought in the 30s in Germany, because before the Nazi occupation, Germany was the most progressive place in the entire world for gays and trans people. And they were
Black
doing
people too.
research and all sorts of really good work on sexuality. And all of that was burned by the Nazis. There were books banned, like Florida's doing. There were laws changed, like Florida's doing. Genocide doesn't happen overnight. It's incremental.
Florida's banning books as type to bring tie-in.
Yeah.
It's banning books on systemic racism
Absolutely.
or any history
Absolutely.
regarding fucking
whenever
truth
something
of what this
goes,
country is.
The progression generally goes queers, disabled people, other minorities. Like because they go for the smallest groups first. And where the gay population is only about 5% of the country, that's a really easy target to bully.
That's it?
Well, I tell you, Rachel, here's what it comes down to. Everyone's fucking worried right now about, this.
Yeah.
It's like between the gay community, that's a huge thing. It's like they're worried about themselves and what's going to happen because like people freak out and do shit. There's like shootings between like what happens in schools,
Yeah.
and people fucking worry about
There's
that.
a
Like just going to
teacher-
fucking school. Between the way the world is going right now, people are so divided and we're so fucked up right now. It doesn't make any sense to me. At a time where
About
it's
stuff that has to do with
2023.
nothing. What does it
where we're
matter to
supposed to be-
anybody who I'm
I
fucking?
don't understand.
We're all
That's what I don't
worrying, but at a
understand.
time where all we want to do is fucking live and enjoy our lives personally and not everybody restricted because this is America. We always said fucking America. I can be whoever I want to be. I can live my life. I can do what I want to do. I'm allowed
Not
all
true.
the equal rights. That's what we want.
Well, that's the America
overall-
we grew up in, and it's regressing.
Overall. And that's what people fucking fought for.
It is.
For us to be able to be free and do what we want to do and be who we are. And when that doesn't happen, it's very fucking unfortunate. And it's really sad that we're fucking scared right now, that people are scared. They should never be scared in fucking America. America is supposed to be the home of the brave. You know what I mean? It's supposed
There's
to
a
be the fucking
teacher
home.
there's a teacher that's on the board, like in the process of losing her job because she played that Strange New World Disney movie. That's what it's called, right,
Yeah.
Brian? You know,
Strange World.
Strange
It's
World.
going too far. It's going too far.
Strange
It's
New
going
World
too
is
far.
the
And that's
Star
art.
the Star
Everything's
Trek
art
thing.
that goes on this. This is all art. We talk about things as art.
But
It's art. Art is
she
very
played this
subjective. It's
movie
very
to her
interpretive. It's
class,
interpretive.
and
People
she's
say
gonna
that
get
shit about
fucked.
that movie.
Okay.
We go continue. People say that about that movie, but it's just art. It's art.
Well, yes, and
but
there
you're
is
right, you're right, she got
age-appropriate art.
sanctioned.
That's like
She
a
got sanctioned.
GPG movie, so it's not even like something that's, if they had showed Aladdin, it would have been fine, and that has the same rating.
It's just a movie who happens
Right.
to have a gay son and an interracial
Right.
marriage. Like, get the fuck over yourself.
Right.
Who
It's a
cares?
movie.
Who cares? It's a movie that happens to have a fucking son who likes boys when he's a
Right.
boy, and a black wife and a white husband. Is that not
Can't show that in the South.
representative to our
Don't you show
demographic
that in the
of
South.
everywhere in the United States? Like, that is a totally normal fucking thing at this point. And if you don't want to recognize it and you want to make it fucking weird, that's on you. That should not be on her. This woman should not lose her job because she's trying to. And the weird thing is like, it related to their curriculum and the fact that she's like an earth science or something teacher. Like, it had something to do with like excavation of the earth, or I mean, I'm probably making up all those words, but it was something that she related to her curriculum, which is why they didn't fire her right off the bat. And then it went up against the board, and it's like this whole thing. She got parent signatures, make sure that they were okay with it, and then this one parent with a hair up her ass started going fucking nuts. Like, it's like, just stop, dude. Just fucking stop. This is what America looks like. We're interracial. We're intersexual. But people like each other for who the fuck they are. And I'm so sorry that fucking contradicts what you think America should be like. But you're the one that's wrong, not us. People are people. I don't care what you look like. I don't care who you fuck. I don't care what you like. As long as it's not children, by the way. Let's be clear.
Right. As long as everyone's
Kevin Spacey.
Consenting adult. That's all that matters.
I don't care what you are, who you are, where you came from. You are welcome. And you are welcome to be a friend. You are welcome to be a lover. You are welcome to be a person.
Who the fuck you wants America?
Yeah. Mind your fucking business. Please. And thank you.
Not to go too deep. I remember we did a story about Kevin Spacey about 8 months ago now or something like that with Mike Casey. And I asked Mike, I go, hey, Mike, can Kevin Spacey have a job again? And he looks at me and goes, fuck no. And that leads me to our featured story of the night. Get it? And now it's time for us to dive into a little bit of, well, it's Flash, but it's not Flash. It's Andy Muschietti. I want to talk about Andy Muschietti for a second because the director of The Flash, because of how well they're saying it was done together, coordinated, shot, put together. They love the way he directed that movie, so they're going to give him the new Batman movie, and that's going to move forward now. He's been signed on to direct the Batman. And it's like Brave and the Bold, and that's the guy that's doing it. And they've been going back and forth who's going to direct it. At one time, they were saying Ben Affleck, maybe he would do it. But Andy Muschietti's taken over, and he has a team with his sister. His sister and him are going to take over and make this movie happen. And like, if you watch the movie, like, he's a great director.
Sister?
It's his sister. It's his sister,
yeah. It's his wife. That's amazing.
I know. It's his sister. It's a brother-sister combo. And he just loves comic book movies.
TJ and Chris, by the way.
He loves comic book movies. Shout out to Chris and TJ. He loves comic book movies. And the thing is, for him, it's a huge step forward in his career because, again, with the Flash movie, there's so much controversy like we're talking about tonight. So much controversy in a lot of these things we're talking about. And a lot of these people have fucked up, like Ezra thing, he had a lot of problems. And the movie still came out. We don't know if he's going to come back. We talked about last week that maybe, Muschietti said that if he has another one, he wants Ezra Miller back. But we don't even know if Ezra will come back. They are kind of in the back burner right now. We have no idea, but Muschietti is going to do the Brave and the Bold. We don't know who's going to be in this. If you've seen the new Flash movie, let's do spoiler alert. They left it off with George Clooney being Batman. So could it be George Clooney being the old Batman, the new Robin? Who knows? But he's going to develop this, and he's also right now working for HBO Max right now, or Max. He's doing the whole spin-off of It right now called Dreadful. It's it's called not Dreadful, it's Penny Dreadful. Welcome to Dreary. That's what he's doing right now. He's developing that. So he has signed a whole new deal with Warner Brothers where he's gonna do TV and movies. And his very first big one is Welcome to Dreadful or Dreary, and he's also gonna do the Batman movie. So he's got a huge deal right now. So him and his sister have a huge deal because the Flash, they love what he did with that so much. And if you see the movie, he fucking killed it. He killed the movie. He's a great director. There's a lot of controversy for that movie, but he's a great director. And of course, he did the It movie before. And so because he did that, that's how he got Flash. So him doing Welcome to Dreary makes sense because now he's going to direct the series based off that too. And now, if you see the movie, we did see the movie, and he kills fucking directing Batman. Like, he figured out Batman. That's what I will say. Like, he is a great Batman director. If you see, doesn't matter who it is. If it's George Clooney at the end, if it's Ben Affleck in the beginning, if it's Michael Keaton in the middle, he knows how to direct Batman. He gets it. He's a great visionary, regardless of the drama, but that drama will come into this conversation too. Of course it has to. He's great. I think he's great. And what happens moving forward will be a big question. But Muschietti and his sister are directing the new Batman movie for WB. That is happening. Sabrina, do you think that's a good choice? And do you think that he's a fucking good director?
I kind of wanted you to go to Rachel first because I know she's very angry about The Flash. However,
right, let's go to Rachel then first.
No, wait.
I feel like I'm gonna underperform now because, like, I think everyone else in that movie should have not. Like, I feel really bad for everyone else involved in that movie because one asshole fucked it up for everybody.
Fucked it all.
So, if this guy did a really good job directing it, and his sister, yeah, let them go do other stuff. Good for them. I'm glad this didn't drag them down too badly because everybody else in this movie worked hard. They did what they had to do. It was one fucking asshole that came in and fucked it all up.
And that's what happens.
I don't think everyone else should be punished. So while I'm not going to go see that movie in theaters because I don't want to support Ezra. I do feel like the rest of the team deserves, they deserve their credit where credit is due. You can't help it if your co-star is a fucking asshole. Like, it's not their fault.
It's a problem. Like, as you probably know, like, Sean and I have been talking about this a lot in the show because we both love Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I've been so torn on seeing this movie, but I fucking was so excited to see Michael Keaton back in that bat suit.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it. And honestly, Muschietti's so good at directing this.
Was all the Keaton in the trailers like I thought?
He's no, not even close. This might as well be Michael Keaton and Flash together. Like, there's a lot of Keaton. The first hour is a lot of setup, like old DC universe, and then it gets into the whole Michael Keaton world. And the second half, more than the second half, is a lot of Keaton. There's a lot of Keaton. And I don't want to do much spoilers. We're doing an open spoiler on Wednesday with Sean because he fucking wants to talk about this too. But like, it's still very early. It just came out. But Keaton's awesome in this. Muschietti's direction, like, I will tell you, his direction in this movie is really good. It was like one of my favorite like directions for an actual DC movie or any kind of like Marvel or superhero movie. Like, the direction's great. The way he does it. It's very smart. It's very thought out. Him and his sister are a good team.
I mean, he didn't kidnap and abuse anybody, so good. Give him work. Like,
Rachel,
Ezra's the only one I have issues with.
I know,
So,
but he's
Ezra's
30
great
years
too.
old. He's 30 years old. He's a baby. He fucked up. He made mistakes.
I'm 30. I know not to do that shit. Don't infantilize him.
Some people don't know not to do that shit, and he didn't.
It seems pretty basic to not kidnap people.
I mean, he didn't. First of all, he did not kidnap that girl. She still is 100% against pressing charges against him, period. Her parents are the one who pressed charges against him because they didn't want their child, who, by the way, was 16 years old. I was fucking
That's
at 16.
still a minor. Like,
it doesn't matter. I was fucking at
30
16.
years old. I know better to not fuck around.
Were you fucking at 16?
Yeah, but I know better as a 30-year-old to not fuck a 16-year-old.
He's 30 now. Well, at that time, he was not 30. He's 30 now.
Okay,
it's
I knew
problematic though, Sabrina.
Not to
Brian,
fuck
were you fucking at 16?
Yeah,
No,
but at
no,
25, were you fucking a 16?
Nope, I was not.
That's
I was
okay.
not.
I'm sorry. You're such a
I'm
good
sorry
boy.
you were a loser, Brian. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
You
I was
suck.
a virgin until I was
Brian,
18. It happens.
18? Oh my
but-
God.
Sabrina, you should know this.
I don't
They
know.
were great,
I didn't
though.
ask those questions. Who cares?
They were great. Like, Ezra was great in this, honestly.
Hold on,
Great,
Brian.
but
No.
the thing is, though,
I'm having
again,
a moment with Rachel again about the things that she doesn't like. Right? The things you don't like. The things you don't like are Ezra Miller.
If you're over 18, you should know better to not fuck a 16-year-old. That's my only opinion here.
That's
Like-
when I was. I mean,
tell all my friends that in high school.
when I was 16, I made my own decision to sleep with someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I was
also
19,
on the responsibility over the older person. If you're
no, it's not. It's not.
Exactly. If I were to
I mean,
fuck
if the
year-old,
if
that's
the
not
if the
okay.
older person is a million years old, yes, of course. But like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're old enough to like make the choice to be in a
What
relationship with
business do
somebody,
you have talking to a 16-year-old if you're over 19?
they also the relationship you're talking about, by the way, they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. They were very close friends. Their parents put a restraint. She admitted and he admitted to sleeping with her, I think once, maybe twice.
I didn't know that was
But
even true. I know they slept together.
I'm fairly certain that she admitted or he admitted, one of them admitted that you're talking
I
about
thought they're platonic.
the Native American girl, right?
Yeah, I
We're talking
thought
about the same person?
they were platonic. I thought they were platonic.
No, I think they were, but then I think there was a breach. There was a breach.
The
One
big
or
problem
two
is
times.
it's like the next profit thing,
Right.
Sabrina.
The
Like
thing is, when
you were
I was
saying the next
16, I
profit.
was fucking another 16-year-old. I wasn't fucking a whole ass adult.
I
That
wasn't.
happens
I
though.
wasn't.
It does
I
happen.
wasn't.
I grew up in Michigan. There was a lot of like I mean honestly, I was like I can't even tell you how
graduated
many
high
like
school when I was
22-year-olds
16,
were
so
coming to
everyone
like
in my grade was 2
junior
years older
prom.
than me, and then anyone else was way older than me. So
It's not
like
great.
that's when I was a senior, I was 16. So anyone
But
that I was engaging with
Mm.
anything like was way older than me. But I was a senior in high school, and my age
Right,
was
but
just
like
young.
2 or
But-
3 years is fine. But like 5, like when you're 16 and they're
I mean,
much,
I
much
was a
older
freshman
than
in
you,
college at 16, and there was a point where I was dating a very much older man. But like your life experience is different at different times in your life, depending on what you go through.
anyway though,
What are you doing?
the question is about Batman and Muschietti. Do you think that this is a whole conversation, is all part of it, especially with Ezra Miller. But do you
Is
think
16
that
actually
Ezra
the age? I
Miller
think it's 18, GR.
it
Yeah,
I mean, I
depends
want
on the
it to be
state.
16.
It depends on the state.
15 in Michigan? The question is though, yeah,
That's
15
really
in Michigan.
young.
Did
That's
you say
not
15?
okay.
15 in Michigan.
Then why are
Michigan,
we having this
get it together.
conversation?
But what do you
You grew
think?
up
Do you
in
think
Michigan,
that
Brian.
I did grow up in Michigan, and I know
We're
that's
gonna have
why
to
I know
edit
the law.
this. This is a
That's
lot.
why I know the law. But that's what I'm asking about Muschietti. Muschietti is coming to do bad or doing the Batman movie. What do we think? Do we think that he should be like sanctioned because of this? He's like pushing for Ezra to come
He
back.
I mean, that's
But he's still
shitty, but
pushing for
again,
Ezra
he
to
didn't
come
commit any
back.
crimes.
GR
He
says
didn't-
16 in California.
It's 18 in California. It's 18 in California.
GR,
and,
give me a Google. Give me a Google.
and Nevada has a sweetheart law where it's 16 to 21. So if you're over 16, you can sleep with someone up to the age of 21. It's a weird law.
Oh.
I actually kind of like that law, I guess.
I
What do
mean,
you
it's fine. And then if you're over 18, you can fuck anybody.
I don't know. Honestly,
mean,
this
that's-
all makes my head
that's
want to explode. But like at the same time, like I feel like if you're 13, you cannot consent to having sex with anyone.
No.
But if you're 16, like I was I was a senior in high school. I went to college when I was 16. I
Right.
can consent. I'm living out of my house and fucking, in a different state. I can fuck someone if I fucking want to. Like
Absolutely.
there's a weird
But
disconnect
it's the
between
power
age and
dynamic.
reality.
It's the
No,
power
no.
dynamic, though. If a
They were
30-year-old
friends for
fucking a
years.
16-year-old,
He's 30 now. He wasn't
Anyways,
30 then.
This is
He
not
was
about
not
having
30 then.
sex. This conversation is about movies. It's about
Brian,
movies
No,
and television.
We're
It's about
trying
movies
to,
and television.
That's what her hang up is on Ezra Miller, and I'm trying to fix that. Is
well,
that
and
not
didn't
okay?
he like physically assault people?
No, yes, but
There's
not
all
her.
that.
Not
But my
her.
question is,
No, not
He
her,
broke-
but just
question-
in general.
He
Like
broke into a
physically
house in
assaulted people.
Hawaii and like stole some booze because he just was fucked up. He just had a fucked up.
he threatened to
situation
he threatened to
in his
kill a
fucking
couple too.
brain.
That's a
He
whole
threatened
thing.
to kill
a
people.
couple-
Thank you, Brian. That's super helpful.
It's not helpful, but that's what happened.
No, if that's the facts,
But-
it's the
Okay, the
facts.
point
But-
is he was fucked up and fucking fucked
Right.
up in the fucking brain, and he was having a really hard time with fucking life. Which,
So
if
maybe
anyone
maybe
out there
he can have a Robert Downey
Hold on.
Jr. And in 10 years, he
Yes.
can have his career back if he
No,
goes and
I
gets
just-
some fucking help.
he's so young. He's so young.
He's so-
He
He's
fucked
not
up.
that young.
He's dealing. Now he's 30. Now he's 30, and he's already done all of these things, right? So
thought
like
he's over
it's
30.
been. No, I think I just googled it, and he's fucking 30. Oh my god, you're ruining my life. He's 30 years old. 5 hours ago,
30.
he's 30.
He's 5 hours
Hey,
ago. He
so-
was 30. He's
But still, even
So,
like 28,
so
if he did this
still
2 years
30.
ago, that's not that young.
Okay, it
It's
was not
old
2
enough-
years ago. It was 2 years ago when they got the restraining order against him. Their relationship spanned over years. Rachel, just listen to me for 2 seconds. Okay? You too, Brian. Shut the fuck up and listen. He is a tortured fucking soul who has fucking problems. As a tortured soul who has fucking problems, thank God I never touched anyone or did anything fucking weird or threatened to kill anyone. However, I have problems. People have problems. People don't know how to deal with their fucking shit, with their fucking life, with whatever the fuck is going on, which is why I love Ted Lasso so much, because it brings a fucking light on mental fucking health. No one in America is not suffering from a mental health issue. It doesn't have to be 20. It doesn't have to be 50. One. Everyone is suffering from one fucking mental health issue. And this kid got fucking, I don't know if it was him getting famous, too young, too quick, or just not knowing, or just going on a drug and alcohol binge. I don't know. But he fucked up, and he fucked up hard, and I don't appreciate any of it, and I don't accept any of it, and I don't think that it should all be okay. However, he has been in treatment. He hasn't fucking done or said shit in a long fucking time. They didn't even give him a platform to do a premiere speech and talk. And everyone who worked on that film said that I'm okay. Brian, can you kindly go fuck yourself at this point? Okay. Can I just finish my fucking rant? Please? Thank you. He has done nothing but try to atone for the bullshit that he's gone through and the bullshit. I mean, I don't mean that he's gone through, that he's put other people through. And he has 120,000% agreed to take the back seat and let them tell him what to do, which as a human, I don't agree with. But as a human in this situation, I guess it's the right thing to fucking do. But he has been seeking help, and he's been going and getting that help. So for you to sit here and hypocritically be like, it's cool, oh my God, you need to go get help for what you did. This motherfucker went and got help. He's getting help, and he's doing the right fucking thing. Yeah, no, it is public. He went from doing all this weird shit to not being in the news all the time. And the reason why he wasn't in the news all the time is because he was getting fucking help. Okay?
I'm a big believer in second chances. If he shows that he's changed, awesome. Like we gave all sorts of shitty people second chances because they showed that they had reformed. I'm fine with that.
Everyone who worked on that show said that he was nothing but professional on set. He was timely. He did what he had to do.
Said the same thing.
He was a fucking brilliant, like someone that was under your tutelage. Like he was chomping at the bit to get in there and do his fucking job. And I saw the movie last night. He did a fucking amazing job, and I am all for it. I think everyone should go see this movie. He's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna say right now, that's what's good. Like on set, that's one thing. That's what comes down to. Like how you treat your professionalism on set goes a long way. I will always say that it goes a long way. And they made $9.7 million opening night. That's not bad. Pretty much the same as Fast and the Furious opening night. It's not a bad opening. We'll find out how it goes. We're gonna say by 8.
It was a better opening. It was a better opening than Birds of Prey. It was a better opening than Suicide Squad 2. It was a better opening than
Green Lantern.
Watchmen.
There's a lot of things that beat.
Birds of Prey deserved more. That was
it did deserve more.
I agree.
It did deserve
I think
more.
it was without a female-led cast. It just didn't.
And Muschietti, honestly, like if you watch this movie, if you do go to theaters or wait till it comes to HBO Max or comes to Max, like his direction makes sense why he got this deal. He got a huge deal.
He was amazing.
He's got a first picture deal. That's what they do sometimes with Warner Brothers, and that's why he's doing The Brave and the Bold, because he really nailed it. The direction's great in this. Nick Cage pops in this shit. He's fucking great. I mean, even George Clooney at the end is fucking funny as shit. And I feel bad that all this drama, always a treat. Rachel, there's a funny moment, like he's fighting a fucking spider in this shit. And there was a whole thing like in the past that Kevin Spacey was talking about, how he was supposed to write the Superman Lives script. And the producer was like, I want a giant spider in it. And he's like, I'm not gonna put a fucking giant spider in this. And then that producer, that same producer made Wild Wild West afterwards, which had a giant spider in it. So he fucking left and made a different movie with a giant spider. So so Muschietti literally put a Nick Cage fighting a giant spider in this shit to fucking make fun of that whole situation. I'm just saying. And that's some geek shit right there. That's what that was.
I had no idea.
Hilarious though. Hilarious. But yes, Ezra Miller, like, a lot happened with their career, and the fact that where they are, and maybe they can come back. Maybe they can come back. It's fine. Maybe they can come back. I have a hard time with that shit all the time. Maybe they can come back and maybe it'll be fine.
Have I been misgendering Ezra this whole time?
It's they.
They're
I fuck
they.
it
They're
up
now.
every time. I'm
Ezra
so
is
sorry,
they now.
Ezra.
But Ezra was he for a long time, even the other shit. But recently,
I can disagree
in the
with
past,
someone's actions and properly gender them, so I apologize.
It's
no,
fine.
I do. It's just you know what? For 43 years, I'm 43 years old. For 43 years, in my brain, I have been conjugating verbs in a certain way. And like now it's really hard to not do that. There's no disrespect, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
but like
there's no disrespect in this show when it comes to that.
It is so hard. I'm deeply into the community, and I still struggle with it sometimes.
Yeah, there's no disrespect that way. We love the community. We're fucking fans. They're friends of the show. We're friends of their show. You know, but like Ezra has gone through a lot, and
show.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we are. You know, but I feel bad for. I mean, it's the same way I feel like. Even though I know the shit that went down was not right, same shit as fucking Kevin Spacey. I know it wasn't right, but a part of me still feels bad.
No, it's not the same shit as Kevin Spacey.
No. Here, can I finish my thought? Can I finish my thought for a second?
Oh, you didn't let me finish my thought.
I feel bad because I get that maybe in his own world, I mean, honestly, in our world is different than his world, apparently, but maybe he wasn't comfortable being that way. The same way Ezra has dealing with some conflicting shit in their mind, you know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to. It's hard to know what people are going through.
Mental illness.
I do not agree. I do not agree upon what Kevin Spacey did. I do not agree upon it.
We're not putting this on the gay community. Like, I appreciate that people can be conflicted, and mental illness is a big part of dealing with that.
But mental illness is not like, I don't think it had anything. I don't think Ezra's association or pronouns had anything to do with his
that
behavior.
they were the next prophet, which is a different world.
I just think he was having
psychosis.
Mental health.
That's
mental health. That's exactly my point.
They were saying they were the next big prophet, and that's what that girl was involved with. That she was involved with their cult.
Also, it was like, I'm still super great friends with him, and everything's fine. And my parents are psycho. And when I was 16, I was in college. So I would have been like, fuck you, mom. This is my homie. I don't care.
Right. But like years later, you realize that those older men.
I mean, right now, she's still cool with him.
Good faith.
And he's not that much older.
I know. But Rachel, you're not going to see this movie in theaters. You'll probably wait for Max, probably, I'm guessing.
To be fair, I don't see a lot of movies in theaters.
Rachel, this movie was amazing.
It was great in theaters.
I haven't even seen Spider-Verse yet. I'll go see Spider-Verse before I see this.
Way better.
Yeah, see Spider-Verse first. But do you think that Ezra will have a chance to have a career again after all of this? Yeah.
Probably.
Do you think that
again? It goes not to bring it back to the Kevin Spacey of it all, because again, the crimes are not equal. But again, the whole LGBTQ of it all kind of makes it less so that he might have a bigger career comeback. But I do think that he would have a career comeback.
Yeah, I feel like that Ezra will make it happen.
If he's seeking help, if he's medicated, because if you're thinking you're a prophet, you have some sort of bipolar or psychosis or something. Issue. Exactly. But if he's medicated for it and he's seeking help, sure, let him come back. Let him do his fucking thing. But he
Rachel,
needs to take the steps to properly deal with his mental health.
That's all I'm saying.
Rachel, do you think that Muschietti should be fucking sanctioned because of all this, or do you think that he should have a chance?
What do you mean?
He didn't do anything.
No.
Yeah, do you think that it's good that he got this deal? Because people might get mad at him, you know?
He didn't do anything. He's just the director. Let him have his fucking career.
He's so good in this.
Baby Goat.
He looks like a baby goat.
He looks like Baby Goat from Saturday Night Live, Jim Brewer. He looks like Jim Brewer in the Baby Goat years.
I am missing this reference. I don't know. I know
you're
too
12.
Young, just
Jim Brewer mixed with Michael Shannon. But if you watch,
Michael Shannon, Jim Brewer.
Without going into spoilers, if you watch this movie, I think that he freaking nailed it directing wise. He got the superhero vibe. He got how you're supposed to shoot superheroes. You're supposed to fucking hold them. Even Ben Affleck said,
and even directors, if directors fuck up, like again, I believe there's a second act for nearly anything. If you murder or rape people, go fuck up. Go fuck yourself forever. But anything else,
like this,
you can kind of high five.
Yep.
Find your way.
You can kind of recover from it, and I do believe that there's a second chance for everybody. So even James Gunn, he did some fucked up things, and
he came
had
back.
a recovery. So,
But his were only tweets, though. You know what I mean? So it wasn't
Yeah, and they were
like
also like weird, off-putting joke tweets. Like,
weird fucking tweets.
Don't make me seem like I'm
Harmon
like
did some
fucking.
fucked
I
up
love
shit.
James Gunn. Friend
Don't
of the
make me
show.
seem like I'm defending assholes like tonight. I've had enough of this. However, like
I'm just
Ezra
saying, you
Miller
can
is
come
a
back from
young-
shit. That's what tonight's
a
episode's about. You can
young
come back.
fucking person, and he deserves
You
a
can come back
chance
from
to get his.
some things.
He deserves
Yes.
to get his head right and come back.
Right.
Honestly, I watched that CW
Great
Barry
Flash.
Allen fucking Flash bullshit. I want to kill myself.
Grant
It is
Gustin.
fucking horrible. It's
Hey, Grant's all
horrible.
right.
I don't care.
Grant's all right.
I'm not saying he's not okay. The show is abysmal. The show
Mhm.
itself is.
But
Basically, if I was gonna die in a torture chamber, they would probably play that, and then like Stargirl, and then
Right.
Titans, like just a bunch of
what
shit.
I would like from Ezra Miller is to make a very public statement about recovery.
He will.
That's
He
what
will.
I would like.
I think they need to.
He
They need
did.
to.
Like, no, he did back then and said he was focusing on his mental. It wasn't very
Yeah, but
public.
that was a very
they released a statement saying
in
that
the
he was
wake of
focusing
the
on his
forward.
coming out.
They need to go forward and
I'm-
put something more like substantial. I think. They
Okay,
need to do
yes,
that.
I agree. I'm just saying there was a statement put out on his behalf. I don't think he made it.
Their run was
but-
hilarious, by the way.
What?
But I would like
Their-
them to
their
be more
run?
public about their recovery.
I agree.
Because
I
when
agree.
your crimes are so public, when your misgivings
I'm
are
gonna do
so
it.
public,
I'm
you
gonna-
need to be to make a very
the whole
public
time.
recovery. That's all.
I agree. I
If
agree
they
with
are
the
more
very.
public about it, then I think more people would be willing to give grace.
No, I mean, Rachel, I
It's dogging.
super agree with you. However, my point is that he did do a slight.
What are you doing?
That was
that's his
Ezra's run.
That's his
Ezra's
run.
run.
That's his run.
Ezra's
That's what he
run
runs.
during the show was like this.
That's John Travolta
It's like-
And they're
looking
like-
his
it's
hair
like-
back.
They're like
it's
this.
like ballet.
They felt like this.
It's ballet, grease, and like fucking go fuck yourself, all rolled into
Like
one
this.
thing.
They would start like this, and then they'd be
It was-
like,
and no, he would do this, right? And then it was like,
they would do this.
and it was like,
I
it was
can't.
super
remember.
sexy,
When
but
you see
also
the-
weird. And then
When you see
also,
the stance, you know.
but okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna give it to you, right? X gonna give it to you. Okay, the leg was like this, right? Okay, ready? It was up like this, right? And this
It was
arm
so
like
high.
this.
That's
Yeah, and
silly.
I
it
was
was,
like-
That's
he
a
just
silly
pause
one.
here. He would pause there for like 5 minutes. He'd be like, I'm just gonna pause. And then like when shit would happen, he'd be like, and then the shit would just
One of the best cold opens
the
ever.
lightning hitting his sneakers. I said sneakings.
One of the best cold
Lightning
opens for
sneakers, it
a
was
Marvel
amazing.
movie. DC.
That's silly. But yeah, I think as long as I think the recovery should be public, and then they would be able to make a more public
Thank you.
recovery for their career.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, even during
again-
that, they didn't say much.
I
You know, during the
agree.
premiere?
I agree in that in what you're saying. However, they did make a statement. It was just not super like publicized crazy statement, as was this super publicized crazy shit that was going on.
Right.
And
But
then
if
there
you-
was a moment of silence for a very long time.
But Muschietti's
And-
so fucking good directing this.
Oh, he keeps trying to bring it back to this.
I
Okay,
mean-
let's bring it back to
Thank you.
Muschietti. Muschietti was amazing.
He's
He
so
looks like-
fucking good.
Baby Goat was amazing. He did a Baby Goat great job. He Baby Goated all of it. He was amazing. I loved it. His actually, honestly,
I'm excited
jokes
about
aside,
Batman with him. Him doing Batman after I
He
saw how
obviously loves
Muschietti
Batman.
shot Batman. He loves Batman. You can tell that, like, the way that he shot Keaton, the way he shot This is the best Batfleck I've seen.
I
It's the
don't-
best Batfleck I've seen. And I'm like,
Batfleck has always
I
been
like
great.
Batfleck.
You're being super like
no,
fucking
even
fanboy about
even
it.
Ben Affleck said that. He said this is the best I've been as Batman. He said that in an interview.
was Batman
You know-
there?
No, of course
No,
not.
no,
He's not part of
Batman.
this universe.
We had Batfleck, we had Bat Keaton, we had Bat Clooney. Baclooney.
Did he have
Ben
the
Affleck?
bat nipples?
No, thank God.
no,
he was just
no.
Bruce Wayne. Just
Why are you
Bruce Wayne.
thanking
Bruce Wayne.
God
Thank
for that? No, bat nipples
Oh,
were
I
part of
hated
our
them.
culture.
No, I hated it. I hated it. I don't ever want to see it again. I'm
That
like,
was the
take
one
your
thing they were
rubber
saying.
hose fittings and put them elsewhere, please, and thank you.
When they showed the last scene in the movie, spoiler, we already talked about, but the last scene in the movie, they had during CinemaCon and everything else, they just showed like the door opening. When you watch the movie, you see there's like very like there's like someone on the phone. He's answering the phone. He's like, "Hey, Bruce, what's going on?" And you hear a voice. You can't really tell who it is. A car pulls up, same car from the beginning. You think it's Ben Affleck. The door opens. You go see his face. See some guy in the car. He walks up. So during CinemaCon, they showed all that, and then they cut back to his
George
face,
Clooney?
and then they cut. So they did not show that it was George Clooney during the actual anywhere, any kind of early
so it
screening.
was like The Rock in FF10.
Yes, 100%, that same thing. And they
I
cut
was
out that
surprised. I was
whole
like,
end
it's
part.
The Rock, and
Drink.
I'm like,
PSP says drink. We're drinking. But on this, that at the very end, there was that one sequence at the very end. They left it out, but on the theatrical release, they showed that one sequence where it was actually Clooney. And apparently, they shot a whole thing. This is what they shot: Keaton with Supergirl, with Henry Cavill, and with Barry. They shot a whole end sequence. They cut.
Why is everyone so nuts about her? She was just like an emo Supergirl who had like 4
She was
lines.
barely
Like, I
there.
don't really
Look, man, we get no representation for female superheroes. We take the crumbs.
Okay, I'm a female too. Like,
She was
I don't
barely
want
there.
that
She was-
being my
she's there a lot, but
representation.
No, I want better, but like I'll take what I can fucking get.
I give her 30 minutes. in the
No,
whole movie,
I will
pretty
not
much,
take
30
what I
minutes.
can get. I will not take what I can get. I'd prefer to have good representation than fucking shit
Which
representation.
would be great, but who else do we have? Fucking Captain Marvel and
She
and
can
Wonder
fuck
Woman?
herself. That
They
Brie
suck.
Larson.
Gal
I-
Gadot and
I-
Brie Larson fucking suck.
Yeah, how
Hey,
dare
Rachel,
you?
you want some more spoilers? I'm
Gal
gonna tell you the worst
Gadot-
part of this movie. The worst part
And
of the
Wonder
movie
Woman sucks.
well,
Gal
I'm
Gadot
gonna tell you
is
who I feel
the
bad for this
original
movie
Wonder
is Henry
Woman
Cavill.
was really good. Oh, he got so fucked right
He
in the
got
ass.
fucked.
Henry
Right
Cavill
in the
got
ass.
Everybody but
Huge
Henry
fuck.
Cavill got their day in the sun today. Everybody but Henry
Huge
Cavill.
fuck.
He got fucked hard.
What do you
What's
mean? What
happening?
is happening with the Beatles?
The Beatles. I will
Ringo's
tell you,
making MS
Toby.
Paint art. That's what
Toby,
Ringo
the
is
Beatles. The Beatles right now. You're asking us. So the Beatles.
Wait, from yesterday? The Beatles
Yes,
from yesterday?
Toby's asking probably yesterday.
Toby,
so Paul McCartney,
I love you. Thank you for coming in.
thank you for being joining us. Has some tracks from before when they're in the anthology series. Where
No, wait. John Lennon has tracks that Paul
Paul
McCartney
McCartney has them.
acquired.
He has John Lennon's tracks, but Paul McCartney has them, and he said, well, because before he said they were shit. He called them rubbish. But now, apparently, with the way the
Because they were
technology is
recorded
nowadays,
on
that
a
was 1995.
Casio boombox.
That's 95. But nowadays, they can actually like fucking fix that shit. So they used AI to take out the vocals, put them back in a new track, and now his stuff sounds good. So that's why they were releasing new Beatles songs based off what they used to do back in the day.
Yep.
Because they can. That's AI technology being used to the best way it should be,
weird.
as opposed
it
to
feels
dominating
weird
the
when
world.
John and George are dead and can't like be a part of this. I don't like
Right, but-
post-mortem tracks.
I know.
As a whole, I'm not a fan of post-mortem.
But Paul McCartney,
I'm just saying,
I feel like he wouldn't do this unless it was right.
Hold on. This is I have a large field of knowledge in this area. I am a huge Beatles fan. I just actually the last time I went to go see my mother completed
Aficionado.
a wall
A Beatles
in her
aficionado.
house where it's all Beatles albums that she used to own. Like,
Okay,
well,
that's
she
fair.
still does own. Like she's I
don't
grew
give a
up
shit
as a
about
Beatles fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a song. I think it's one specific song. I could be wrong. There's very little information about it now. I believe it is Now and Then, which John recorded in his apartment, basically on a boombox, playing piano and singing. Yoko Ono gave these tapes, not just this song, other songs, but they had repurposed to the anthology CD that they released in '95. But she released all of this material to Paul, excuse me, and was like, do with this what you will. The vocals were so terrible on Now and Then that they couldn't release it.
Rubbish, she called them.
Paul has really, really, really wanted to do something with it. So once they did the documentary in 2020, like he saw what AI can do. And actually, he does a duet with John on his current tour, which is kind of amazing. And he wants to somehow pull the vocals and the piano track and the guitar track and create this song as it would be if the Beatles had performed it. And as I said yesterday, I'm not a huge fan of AI. However, I think in this case, it is absolutely brilliant and welcomed, and I'm very excited for it. I hope that answered your question.
I mean, I guess if Yoko Ono would have known what John wanted.
And she never would have given him that.
And she would not have given. She's 100%. Still alive, right? She is. Yes,
she's kicking. Yes. But she surrendered that shit in the late 90s or mid 90s. Right.
But she can still. She never. She probably has the rights.
Never would have. Oh, she does.
So she's consenting to all of this. She seems like someone of character who wouldn't license out his image without thinking of what he would have wanted.
What'd I say, Brian?
So
Jimmy Johns.
Oh, I didn't say that. Exactly, Rachel. What you said is exactly what I said when we addressed this topic the other day.
Yeah,
100%.
We lost Toby.
I 100% agree with you. I don't know if he left or not, but we answered his question.
Muschietti. I mean, I'm excited about seeing the Batman
and his sister can do whatever they want. I love sibling director pairs. I think that's really fun.
Honestly, for them, I'm really excited about them because this movie, God, it's so good. I mean, like the direction of it, so good. And I understand. Really it makes me upset again, like you said, Rachel. It's like one person shouldn't fuck a whole movie, but it will.
Right.
Because right now, looking at 80 million opening weekend, where if this didn't happen, it probably would have been 200 million opening weekend, you know? And right now they're getting 80 million.
Look at the DC interface starting shit. Relax.
This could have made a lot more than it will. It could have made a lot more than it will.
I mean, DC movies generally don't make as much money as Marvel movies, so
it's true. Exactly. But I think they would have made more.
They usually kind of suck. DC movies usually kind of suck, and that's just something we need to come to terms with.
Just think about it. There's so many people rebelling against this movie because of Ezra Miller. There's a lot of people rebelling against it that will not go see in theaters. And that's a problem, you know, for the studio. For the studio, it's a problem. And so business-wise, I think if Ezra didn't...
You know what people would have seen in the theaters? Batgirl.
They would have.
No one would have seen that.
But they scrapped that.
They would not have seen that.
I think
Brendan Fraser.
No,
the show was then supposed to be
Brendan
part of that.
Fraser and Keaton. Keaton and Fraser were in it.
I would have seen it.
Keaton, by the way, I've not had a chance to say this, was fucking amazing.
It's great.
He was amazing.
Keaton's amazing in everything. That man's a fucking professional.
Treasure.
He's a fucking legend. Friend of the show. We'll have him on here someday. We'll have him on here someday. I can't wait. Here's the Michael Keaton, everybody. Friend of the show. I'm going to invite him next time we talk about Batman. Anyways, everybody. Or Beetlejuice. Maybe Beetlejuice.
Yes.
About that. Anyways, everybody. This is our longest show ever. Anyways, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on Kruse Control.
No,
appreciate you as always. We'll see what happens with Bad Keaton. We have no idea. Rachel, thank you for being here as always. Appreciate you for joining us here on Kruse Control. Thank you so much.
Happy to be here. Happy to gay it up. Happy to fight with Sabrina.
On a Friday.
I love you, Sabrina. On a Friday.
Hearts all the way. Woo. Sabrina, thank you so much. As always, being my lovely co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Thank you for being on Kruse Control. Nice heart. This is a nice heart.
It's way cuter when I do it this way, right? Way cuter?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
Rachel, I love you too. I just want to represent my shithole opinion along with the opinion of...
No, I learned stuff.
I know. I learned stuff from you too. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things and I love you and there's no animosity ever. And I love... This is the hallmark of that.
There he is. There's GR. See you Monday,
Bye.
GR. Hey, GR, just for you, we have a new guest on Monday who's actually a vet, and he has his own podcast with vets talking about movies. So, GR, hopefully you come out that Monday and check it out. So that'd be good. So, and as always, everybody, please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And we're at like 430, I think. We're almost at 430. We're like 428, something like that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can look.
Our numbers keep... It's like Ezra running.
429.
429.
Oh, like 432. 432.
4:32. As we're running,
Well, no,
we keep going up. And as always, tell your family, your friends, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your nephews, that fucking little chinchilla who fucking camps out in your bathroom when you go to take a shit and they're there and you're like, why the fuck are you in my toilet? You're like, I never have a roommate. He's there shitting in the toilet. You're like, watch Kruse Control. That's what you gotta tell him. Like a little Pokemon that comes into your house and like fucking cradles up next to your fucking dog and he like sleeps with him and he's like fucking hugs him. You're like, why are you listening to my dog? You're like, watch Kruse Control. Like that fucking guacamole fucking ball that rolls through your house. And you're like, why are you there? Why are you there? I have no idea why you're here. Watch Kruse Control. And every fucking crazy animal that's out there, you have no idea that even exists. Like porcupines, they exist. I have no idea they exist. Fucking chinchillas, I love them so much. Fucking marsupilami, fuck them. Anyways, everybody, watch Kruse Control. Come back on Monday. It'll be a great show. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I'm a little drunk.
Snoopy.
I'm so drunk. Fuck Snoopy.
Snoopy.
I love him so much. I played Snoopy one time.
This is your Snoopy. That is so rude.
I played Snoopy one time. Snoopy was an asshole, but we were friends. But Snoopy already subscribed 5 times.
I glued Snoopy's limbs
accounts.
back together for you.
I say fuck Snoopy because he has 5 accounts and he subscribed in 5 accounts. And I tell him that I always argue you can only have one account, Snoopy. And Snoopy's like, I'm helping you. I'm like, fuck you, Snoopy, but we're friends. Because I played him one time when I play, so that's how it all goes. Anyways, everybody, we love you so much. Have a great night. And as always,
see ya!